Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Okay.
Yeah, but there are no adults here that I can tell, right?
No. None whatsoever.
It's my Halloween costume. I'm never recognized as a responsible adult.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
certainly
not an adult.
Hey, we forgot to say the thing before we're live now, yeah?
Yep.
Hello.
Now that's going to be.
I'm live. I'm not sure how long yet, but I'm alive. Yeah.
We're going to have to explain that joke now.
Yeah. Play it again. Play it again.
Well, okay. Well, wait till we get to more of an audience. Actually, right now, I don't think we've got anybody there. Montgomery said she had to go feed the cat. So,
according to this,
are we playing to an empty room? Oh my!
No, we've got
I think
four.
we might be at the moment.
We got 4.
I might accidentally have another thing queued up just to tickle you.
Okay. Well, just the obligatory thing about the thumbnail and all.
Well, this thing says that there are 4 people watching. I feel for you guys.
Oh yeah, because you're rich and famous now, Dinah. You've got all the fucking viewers.
Oh my! To this day, I still don't quite know where that came from. I have an idea of where it might have come from.
FBI.
Yeah, you are talking about Shannon shouting me out, right?
I'm just talking about how do you get viewers? I mean,
well, he's been running drugs down in Guadalajara. So she's been running.
Well, how do I get viewers? No, people just trip over my channel, and it takes them a while to pull their faces out of it. So they have to watch for a while anyway.
Really, a lot of it is if you keep doing it for a while, and you'll pick up a couple of people who may retweet you, and that's really where it all winds up going.
I think that the actual the thing that you need to do if you want to be popular when you're live streaming, you need to have a really sexy British person in your stream. That gets the viewers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, Kate is,
do you know any, Stool?
Oh boy, I think his name is Purple Rain today.
Well, I guess I'm not really claiming my Britishness today, so I can laugh.
Does it help if you have trolls following you?
Well,
if that's the case, I'm in like Flint.
I mean, somewhat. Like the whole troll thing could backfire.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I had my first official troll, but doesn't seem around.
Yeah, I just discovered what was it? 2 Sundays ago. Yeah, that somebody had.
Well, you're telling the story.
Had featured me on a broadcast they called "What Is That?" Because I'm trans, and that may have got me a few viewers. I'm not sure. It may have got me Shannon's shout out, and thank you, Shannon.
But you saw the fun. You saw the funny side of that, didn't you, Diana? So.
Oh hell yeah!
No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hurt by it. No, not
of course not.
By a long shot.
No press is bad press.
This is the important thing. You've got to fucking laugh.
Yeah, I mean,
if
I didn't laugh, I would cry. Yeah, and who better for me to laugh at than myself?
Yeah, but like I say, no press is bad press.
Feel free to laugh at me anytime. I don't have any problem with it.
Okay, then. Yeah.
I'm used to being laughed at.
What anyone else thinks of me is none of my business.
Look, you can say whatever you like about me. You can think whatever you like about me. Just make sure it's true.
There you are. I like the one thing, though, that I'm trying to remember where I heard this one, but it's beautiful. You are not what you think you are. Mm-hmm. You are not what someone else thinks you are. You are what you think someone else thinks you are. I love that.
And somewhere out there, someone has masturbated to you.
Yes, there you go. And, I'm sitting here thinking, why?
Purple Rain.
I'm trying to think
Does it
who would have
count-
a Triceratops fetish, but
Does it make me weird if I watch YouTube's backs and then masturbate to myself? Or does that make me weird?
No, it doesn't, because you're already weird, honey.
I was going to say, I was thinking you were weird before you got on YouTube.
I don't kink shame. If that's your thing.
But weird is good. I would never use normal to refer to anyone I consider a friend.
There you go. There you go. I'm liking it.
This is a really good stream, Purple. Do you see what's happening here? I've never seen this before on one of your shit streams. Everybody's happy.
That's cold.
Yeah, we got a good group in here tonight.
Yay!
The truly important thing.
There we are,
and
Doc.
Hello.
Listen, I'm
I
under
love my
strict-
phone.
I'm under strict orders to be a good boy, so I'm not going to be angry or anything because I've been told off. But the wonderful thing is you've got to be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're nothing.
I don't believe that you can behave for longer than an hour before
I'm nothing.
And it looks like our lag tonight's pretty small, too.
Oh, yay. That's a good thing.
You are not going to behave.
Sammy
I
heard
mean, you
that.
could try to behave.
I'm going to be such a good boy tonight. I really am.
That's good.
Has someone promised you a reward?
Yeah. I get a
Stool's
biscuit.
going to behave himself, and there won't be anyone here to see
You're
it.
going bright red. You can't even stop yourself. I can see it simmering inside of you. I can see it. You're going to explode.
Oh my gosh. I am kind of exploding because you know what I'm like. I was playing before I played. Oh God, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
See? Not even what's the count? 7 minutes, 25 seconds.
Seriously, before I joined the lovely Purple stream, I was playing with Antja and we were having a laugh. And obviously, I can't do what I do when you're live because that's a bad thing. But I can't help it. I can't help myself. I want to sing. Can't help myself.
I can't help myself. I do these things and annoy other people. I don't know.
You know, when you said you want to, it just reminded me of how everyone's going crazy over the cop down in Kentucky. And
Oh, my.
everyone in the media, they cannot say wanton. They're saying wonton. I'm like, no, it is not a food. It is wanton. Like I'm wanting something. Ugh, you know? And then it's made me really hungry for wontons all day.
Oh, for the love of Saint Louis.
But like, I just can't be asked making them. Maybe tomorrow. Or on Sunday.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
Kentucky has the problem of it's kind of the northern edge of the southern states, so they get a weird mix of everything.
Well, that used to be the case. And lately, the Mason-Dixon line has been stretched into Lake Erie.
How?
There's always good old Ohio.
How are you going to move it line? It's
In other words, Ohio is really, really redneck anymore.
Well, Ohio is still very much split, and that's why they have such a fight over it, and why the Republicans are trying so hard to suppress the vote there.
Yeah.
Because if they actually got even representation, they would find that, yeah, they're still slightly a minority.
No,
They're trying to
no.
suppress the vote. They should be disbanded.
No.
Oh, they should be,
Purple.
absolutely. It's really fun. Either Sunday or Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about this. The Pennsylvania Fascist Party sent a bunch of mailings, and one of them is right out of the National Enquirer or all of the other whatevers. I don't know if you can. Let me see if let me get this over here. Yeah, okay.
Well,
I don't know if you guys can see this or not. This came in the mail for me.
Oh, I saw that earlier. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's full blown conspirator.
hold on, hold it up again so I can enlarge you there and see if I can read the text.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, if you post it on Twitter.
well, nobody watches this, so
The media is controlling what you know.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, they're controlling what they tell you, not what you know.
See, I replied to that when you posted that on Twitter, and I wrote something to the effect of, it looks like conspiracy theory nonsense, but at least they must be excluding the conspiracy theories about the U.S. postal system.
I saw that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I love the irony of all that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I know of no political contest since I first registered to cast my first vote in 1976 that has been this crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say crazy, I mean
Blame
yeah.
Trump.
Actually blame his supporters, really, because the way I see it, and correct me if you think I'm wrong
Well, he
here.
mobilized them.
Actually, while we're on the subject, Randolph, will you give us some sanctuary if we need to run up to Canada?
The what?
Will you give us sanctuary if we need to run to Canada?
I'd love to, but Canadian Atheists is not a religious institution.
Well, just spot me for the paperwork. I mean, you know.
You could apply to a church. That'd probably still be better.
No, I wouldn't be that desperate. I'd rather go up against the damn wall.
But well, they're building a wall apparently. So they're.
Well, I'll be the first one whose brains are split across it. No.
What keeps getting me?
I get this question a lot now. People are wanting to come to Canada, and I don't blame anybody for it. I totally understand.
It's either that or I'll roll down to Mexico.
You've got to stop this. It's 6:20 a.m. in my land. Let's not do the American politics thing.
So
I will say
the Mexican justice system is problematic because they don't have the concept of innocent until proven guilty.
It's the other way around, yeah.
Yeah, people get to sit in prison there, and it's deplorable conditions, worse than the prisons here. Sometimes 6 months to a year before a judge hears their case and dismisses it.
Yeah,
it's all right. I've had every childhood illness, dengue fever, you know.
Yeah, it won't help you.
Well,
there are
the
people
US
that died in
system
there
is
because
more
of
like
kidney
innocent
failure. They don't get enough water, all kinds of stuff like that. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, now that you
Canada,
Maybe I could go to Belize.
with you mentioning that, as far as I understand it, Canada, especially now, doesn't want me because well, as far as I can tell, I don't have the exact numbers to back me up, but I'm pretty sure it's the case that I am now in end stage of kidney failure.
Huh.
So I know some
put on
cases.
lots of makeup, lots of rouge, and take a whole bunch of pills, try to look good.
Yeah, I know of cases where a family member being in not the best of health was enough to deny the entire family.
Well, you don't know for sure. You're just guessing based on what you've heard from others.
Based on my symptoms.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even between my birthday and now, there's been a significant change in my condition.
But,
oh no!
At least the way I feel it.
But in all seriousness, the whole thing with Trump, the saving grace, is that people say they get freaked out that he's going to turn it into the Handmaid's Tale land. And I said, no, that man couldn't deal with restricted pussy if you paid him.
There you go.
So the saving grace is that he's a misogynist who likes to fuck. But I don't know. I am terrified, but not to the point that I'm probably going to run to another country terrified. But
I know half the people are joking. The other half seem serious. They want to get out.
I'm not joking. I mean, if somebody would take me in, I would very, 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 very seriously.
Honestly, if it had
defecting.
been an option, I would have moved to Canada after Bush Jr. got elected.
You know what might actually be a more viable solution would be to go to a state like Minnesota and get enough people there to vote to concede and then join Canada and then just be there at the time and problem solved.
Well, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been telling people,
that's why I mentioned Minnesota.
Yeah. Wait, isn't there a town in like Wisconsin that's actually in Canada?
I believe it's in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Yeah, I saw something on news like the kids have to go through fucking border patrol every day to go back into the States to go to school.
Yeah, you have to go into Canada and then back out in order to go from
Point
one
Roberts
place
is
to
another
the
one
US.
that's up pretty close to me here.
Yeah. But I've got a girlfriend in Manitoba who said I could stay there.
There's actually an Indian reservation that is part of the U.S., but is actually north of Minnesota, so it is completely surrounded by Canada. So
Might
it
be
is
what
a
I'm
nation
thinking of.
unto itself that is supposed to be part of the U.S. that is in Canada.
They probably don't mind
it's
the
weird.
separation.
But, honestly, like my stomach is in knots over this, and it's just I'm looking at the polling numbers, and I feel like it's going to be like neck and neck the whole damn night.
Chris is asking in the side chat if anything happens in Alaska.
No.
I think Sarah Palin, when she's there, she can see Russia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
On a clear day,
I think
love
Sarah is in
Sarah
Alaska.
You betcha. Sipping on this damn Diet Coke, she's gonna fucking die of aspartame poisoning one of these days.
Well, Canada, we want to take Alaska back, but we're waiting for Sarah Palin to leave. So
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
sure, you
perfect.
So I don't know a lot of the history in terms of Alaska. Was it actually part of Canada? Was it unclaimed territory? What was it? I don't know.
I thought the
I'm not
U.S.
clear
bordered
on it.
from Russia.
Yeah, I'm not clear on it, but I think we let the British negotiate, and so they just gave it away to Russia or something. I'm not quite clear.
Oh, okay.
So we had some really stupid people in our history. Maybe they were getting money under the table. I don't know, but yeah.
You know what? Speaking of Canadian history, I have not finished watching that series with Jason Momoa about the fur traders. I can't remember what it was called.
If you want to see some
Frontier.
a real interesting part of the history that I encourage you to share with Americans is the history of Tommy Douglas. He's the reason we have national health care here.
I'll have to write that one down.
Oh, okay.
Here's an odd bit of history regarding Alaska that very few people know of.
What's that?
Before they discovered it had oil, it had actually been proposed that Alaska would be the site of the new state of Israel.
I know somebody who's working on that, and well, I don't know him, but he's an acquaintance from the workplace, and he's trying to raise money to relocate everybody from Israel. It actually straddles the border between Canada on BC and Alaska, USA. And,
in the middle of BFE, they'll die.
He believes. He told me this. He's very serious. He told me that. He needs to raise hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to make it happen. But he said what it'll be is once all the Jews move there, because that's where the promised land actually is, then we'll have Armageddon. These people are nuts, right? But that's what he
This will be my 10th Armageddon. Bring it on.
Yeah, I know the world has ended at least a dozen times in my lifetime.
Like the last time with 2012, I was like, well, at least I'll leave a beautiful corpse. Bring it on. Shots. But I was like, what? How old was I? 26? 27? Yeah. 27. Yeah. I'm dating myself. But see, people
that's
think
the only. Well, myself is the only person who will date me, but that's beside the point.
Nothing wrong with you, man.
So, have you, Lone Knitting, have you got one of these cards? Maybe Purple can put it up on the screen for us. It's, I'm just sharing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Rapture Survivor card. You got
No,
one?
I need that. It's like bingo. I need that.
Oh my word! Okay, and I'm liking it. Where can I get this? I want a package. I can
I
hand
have,
it out.
I have an atheist bingo card thing that I set up. I need to send it to you. It's like every time you encounter if you encounter a Karen, who's wearing a cross tick, if you hear someone's ringtone playing "Jesus Take the Wheel,"
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
whole
Oh, this
bunch
one
of
I laughed so hard the first time I saw it. So you get the last one free. They
With
cost
this
money.
thing up here on the screen, though, it was funny. When I went
I need
shopping yesterday to get the microwave oven, I wore my T-shirt, the one that reads, "I'm a better Christian than an anti-Trump supporter, and I'm an atheist." 4 people actually, I love that shirt.
Yeah.
One of them actually took a picture. She wanted a picture of it.
You should wear it more often then.
Yeah, I should. No, I did get a couple dirty looks
Of course.
from people who were wearing Trump gear, but
Mhm.
and it was like, yeah, come on, bring it on.
The thing that really, really gets me about these Trump supporters, that boy Kyle Rittenhouse, whatever his name was, that shot up.
Yes.
His mother drove him there with the gun. He didn't even have a license. She drove him to that protest.
That is totally amazing. I mean, okay.
Yeah. I have wondered why she hasn't been charged as an accessory to the crime.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same myself.
Well, it's the whole gun rights business, isn't it? She could just say, well, he's allowed to have his gun. I mean, I didn't know what he was going to do, Which he knew full well. I mean, I'm not stupid.
However, but she drove the car, and transporting that gun across state lines is a felony.
Yeah.
Oh, state lines.
Yeah, he was. He came over.
They
from
drove up from
Indiana or
Illinois to
something?
Wisconsin. For
Illinois,
that.
Illinois. Yeah, he crossed state lines to do that.
Yeah, so that's big trouble.
Unless she's going to say she never knew it was in his duffel bag. What's this big boy drive through? Go Fifi.
Well, that answers a question I've had for a while. I didn't know whether there were any big boy restaurants remaining. I guess.
I don't think there are.
Okay, everybody has to remember exactly what they said, and we've got to redo it now.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry.
Okay, let's rewind the take.
Skip a track.
Are you ready to go live in 3, 2, 1?
Hello.
Hippo.
Hello.
That's an inside joke. You're going to have to explain that to the audience.
Fine.
You mean to tell me I've got to get my keys and I've got to go into the parking lot and tell the joke, and yes, this way I'm outside.
If anybody saw the beginning of the stream, they'll remember this. This whole conversation, except it's so.
But you know what's crazy is I thought all the A&W diners were gone, but apparently there's still some around the country.
Yes, that one I knew. I knew that there were still.
We've got lots of A&Ws out here in BC, here in Canada.
Yeah, I thought they were all gone. To the
There's
wind,
still a
but-
couple of them in Upper Michigan.
Yeah.
You know what's really fun is there was a delicatessen type store that I remember from my childhood growing up in Cleveland. It's called Lawson's. It's similar to. Does anybody remember? Like an A+ or something? These things that they're attached to gas stations now.
Oh no!
In the name
Oh, this is so funny.
we come.
If you're not a Taoist,
I'm trusting
can't
this
let you
one
hear
won't
the
get me
priest
for a
read his
copyright
vows.
claim.
Don't count on it.
would you like to know what he's saying?
No,
Would you
I
like
need
to
an
know
adult.
the 313 secrets of Tavo?
I need an adult.
313.
Would you like to
Wow.
learn how to speak to an octopus? Taoism is the world's fastest growing religion, and thousands of people join us every day. It's so easy to join.
With big smiles.
Join us. Now,
It's so easy to join.
Wow.
I
That
just
is
I
totally
hate those
amazing.
creepy motherfucking smiles. Like join us.
Yeah.
So yeah, leave
No,
me
but
alone.
There's a delicatessen that used to exist when I was a child in the Cleveland area, and they closed up years ago. I actually found one in Tokyo. That was the amazing thing. Some Japanese guy bought the franchise and imported it to Japan, and that's the only place now that you can find a Lawson's delicatessen. It was like, holy shit.
Crazy.
Oh well. So much for that. Oh, how is everybody over there in the side chat?
Yeah. We just had Geo Sam come in.
Hi, Geo. Yay.
I'm being so well behaved. There was a pause in the conversation there, but I kept myself quiet.
Yep.
I'm being a good boy.
Yeah, Geo Sam, I just got the heat transfer paste today.
Hey, Aunt Joe's
so
here.
We're gonna see if that's going to revive my old computer.
Oh my. Okay, it just decided that it was going to go.
Well, it'll run for a while and then it randomly shuts itself off. So Geo Sam was suggesting that if I take it all apart and if I clean off the old heat transfer paste off of the CPU and put some fresh stuff on there, that might help it.
It just might, yeah.
You may be having an overheating problem, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, that, somehow something's heating up and it's like pulling one leg out of something.
Do you have a way to monitor your case temperature?
Yeah, nothing in the computer, but I could put a temperature probe in it.
Okay, because that's another thing that might do it. If there's insufficient airflow, say if one of your fans is bad. And
I checked that all the fans are running.
See, honey?
I checked that already. All the fans are running.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so we can scratch that off.
Yeah, and, that's the weird thing, that it worked through the summer and now the temperature's dropping, so it should have less problem now than it did in July.
What kind of CPU you got?
I have to check again on this one.
Is
I
it
don't
Intel,
remember.
Intel or something else?
What's that?
Oh,
Which brand? Is it Intel or something else?
No, I think it's an AMD, but
Okay.
like I said, I would.
See, what I find with the Intel stuff is they will automatically shut everything off before it gets too hot, so they protect it. Problems we've had in the field in business environments with the AMDs is they don't do that. They don't have that function because you see Intel holds the patent on it, so they can't put that in. And then what happens is they, at least that's my understanding. So what happens is they will overheat and they will burn out. A lot of the time, people will shut them off because it starts getting too hot, so they're not operating properly, but the damage gets done. So it could be some damage that's been gradually building up over time. I hope this is not the case for you, though.
I'm really bored now. So, Purple, do you think that my voice is sexier than the Canadian person's?
Oh, I'm sure it is. You've got the accent.
He's just talking random Intel stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to look that stuff up.
Trying to move the topic along.
Well, there's a certain person out there.
Okay, that one was an Intel.
There's a certain person out there who's got U-beat stool. I've very often said, for those of you that know her, Karis Crane could read the back of a cereal box and make it sound erotic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. She's got the voice, definitely. Yeah, she used to be the co-pilot on movie night back when Jeff was still alive. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know where you can find her. You can find her on Jared's thing, the AT2 channel.
Maybe we should ask the people inside chat who's got the sexiest voice.
I already told you it's you because you've got the accent.
Let's have a vote.
Not good enough for you?
Side chat people. I can't understand him because he's Canadian. So side chat people. Side chat people. What do you think? I'm To be honest, I'm going to vote for myself because I'm feeling a bit sexy tonight.
As your
So, what
bias.
do you think?
Yeah. I had to go and look at the old system here, but I can't trust it long enough to do a stream because it's at this point unusual that it will stay on for an hour. Most of the time, it shuts down well before that. But yeah, that one was an Intel. It's,
Yeah, an i5. Was that one of the Pentium series?
That'd be pretty old if it's that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
well, it's probably like 6 years old, I think.
Oh, okay. That's
No.
beyond. No, that's not the Pentium era. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been known to run computer systems for 12 years, but even that wouldn't do it.
Oh, I've had servers run for over 20. Very few, but they're in consistently cool environments that are clean.
Yes, and the systems I've had that have run the longest have been the oldest. Like, for example, the 486s. There was
yeah,
one
it's going
system
way
I
back.
had, where you could actually run one of those babies without a heatsink. They were that cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like somebody's feeling some pressure.
Okay, then. Oh, for me, the most sexual
Yeah,
voice
well,
has to be Purple Rhymes with Orange.
I'm going to try to bring the old one back, but even so, it was pretty old, so it would still be good if I can build a new system.
All right, the milking stool. Why don't you go ahead and read this out in your sexy voice?
I can't even see that damn thing.
Maybe I'll try reading it then, unless somebody else wants to.
I can try if you want me to, but it is a very long way away.
It'd be your voice would be good for it.
That is so, and you won't be
Like a
able to hear
romance,
me.
like a steamy romance novel.
You dirty pervert! I'm gonna have to move my mic.
Hey, he said he's got the sexy voice, so
I'm blind. I
Put it to
can't
work.
see that far. It does look like a romance novel. Bear with me for this. Can you make it bigger? Can you big me, please?
let me see if I can make it bigger here.
That sounds.
Thank you. That's perfect. Yeah, little down. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm now going to make you all get erotic and moist. Okay.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a Trump thing? Or I'm not going to do that. No. He could not take his eyes off that implanted whip. What the fuck am I reading? Jesus. He could not take his eyes off that implanted wig. It looks so incredibly real and true. And the bat, does that say bat?
That's just that.
Yep.
Yes.
You're ruining it.
I'm not good at this. And the bat looks so perfect in his tiny little orange hands. So perfect in his tiny little orange hands. Never in his life did Mike think, oh, you dirty bastard. Never in his life. Never. Mike's so gay. Never in his life. He is. Never in his life did Mike think he could be so inspired by someone who was so sinned so much and who was so manly and orange.
That was written by someone named Molly Jong Fast. She's got a talent for this stuff.
Oh, she's good.
What I
You
want
ma-
to know.
You just
It's-
made me read dirty words.
There's no dirty
What?
words there, man. What are you talking about?
What was the
feel dirty.
reason that he was holding a baseball bat in the fucking White House?
Was it like him trying to promote opening up the Major League Baseball season?
I gotta say, you're the only person who's ever asked about that. Why he's holding it there? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Was it his?
Seriously.
Was it his Al Capone impression or what?
Did he start coaching Little League? Because I would pull my kids out of that so fucking fast.
No, I think that's the bat he uses when he coaches the modeling contests.
Uh,
Oh no!
Oh boy.
He doesn't care about Little League.
Always look in the background because you
I
know
don't know.
damn
He
well
might be into
that
that.
Mike Pence has got his middle finger up Trump's bottom. That's what
Hey,
they like
okay.
to
I'm
do.
not
That's the way it
shaming.
works. Okay. And you know the thing
That's a
is,
very
that,
fucking gay look, though. That is a very fucking gay look. Like, I just want you.
this is the damn thing, though. When I think about it, there's probably only one reason that Donald Trump is alive at this moment, and that reason is Mike Pence.
Oh, I was going to say a cartouche or a sarcophagus.
There you go.
Sorry,
I mean,
Stargate.
just like what was the whole thing
Or the
when
Secret Service, yeah.
when John McCain was running against Barack Obama, and there were people who were saying that McCain was all frail and everything else and probably wouldn't survive a presidency. And the reason they wouldn't vote for him was because of Sarah Palin.
You betcha.
I can see Russia from my house.
I know, right?
God.
But in all seriousness, no. Like, how worried are you that he's going to get reelected? All
I'm terrified.
seriousness.
I'm terrified.
Extremely worried.
Like, scale of 1 to 10.
11.
15.
23.
See, I kind of semi-committed to doing my first live stream for election night, but I'm chickening out now. You know, because I'm like, oh god.
Was it you that said that thing? You were going to stream it through the night?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, yeah,
as far
Don't
as
do that.
What?
if
That
we
would be
have
bad.
a significant number of mail-in ballots, which I expect we should, the election's not going to be decided election night.
Right. I was thinking, and I don't know, maybe I'm off on this, but I was thinking that if the statutes allowed it, it would take at least a week to count all the, to count all the
2021.
ballots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I mean, I'm being serious here because, you know, the whole mail-in ballot thing.
Don't they start
and,
counting early? Do they not start counting before as they get them or not?
some can and some cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was just a court decision as far as the cutoff date that they could be counted up to 3 days after the election. I don't know of anybody that allows counting before election day.
Mm-hmm.
If there is anybody, please tell me. I'd like to know.
I think counting before election day might be in violation of the federal statute.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting. I haven't got.
Did you see that purple in the private chat?
What?
I was asking Purple to look in the private chat.
Daprozhnie. Okay.
That's still.
I have not yet received my mail-in ballot.
I have
And-
mine here. I haven't filled it out yet. I was going to take
Okay.
it to the post office tomorrow.
Yeah, there's some stuff here in Pennsylvania that the ballot wasn't finalized yet, and until it's finalized, they can't send the shit out in the first place. So I don't know if that's been handled, or if I'm going to end up walking to the alternative polling place.
I'm just
and
the
going through
outsider
whatever
here.
I have to go through there.
I'm the outsider, but a lot of your states have already cast their ballots. Can they be counted? Yes. I think not.
Look,
That's
still,
kind
I'm
of the
the
rules.
outsider too. Still, I'm the outsider too. I can't even vote.
Yeah, but I'm getting to something. Never interrupt me. So,
Oh,
what
really?
I think we should, what I think we should do while we're ruminating this particular subject, I think we should get Diana to teach us all how to say moonbeef.
Moonbeef, yes, it's the moonbeef. Moonbeef. It is the word that means whatever I want it to mean.
I'm still put up on you trying to tell me what I can and cannot do.
I'm not fucking. Don't make this into a thing. I was joking.
I'm playing.
Are you playing?
Really? You think I would? I've never showed.
Don't fuck with me. I will destroy you. I want Diana.
The last time someone did that to me, they ended up in A&E with a fork in the head.
Diana, teach us all how to say that wonderful word that you use.
But I've been doing that. It's pronounced moonbeef. Yes.
Moonbeef. Moonbeef.
It helps if you speak German, because then you know how to make those sounds.
You know what it reminds me of, though? It reminds me of like those people talking in tongues in church.
Oh, well, I do plenty of that.
Okay, we got a video here.
Okay.
Oh boy! Anything to get the camera.
I'm not
off,
used to doing
Larry.
this, so let me see if I got this right. Okay.
Oh no!
Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget her name, but I can't hear
Randolph.
a thing.
Randolph.
Yeah,
Paula White. That's what Randolph wrote. Paula White.
how's that?
I can barely hear it.
It's okay. They got subtitles.
She basically goes around and preaches to the various churches across the U.S. And obviously, she's getting paid for it. She's the spiritual advisor of the White House, particularly Donald Trump, and she's a televangelist, and she's preaching the idea that not voting for Trump is a vote against God, and voting for Trump is a vote for God, and the churches are loving her apparently.
How is this not a violation of like campaign rules?
Well,
Wait a minute. Okay, that thing I just saw printed on the Daddy committed suicide, pregnant out of wedlock. What?
Oh, it's her rags to
was
riches.
pregnant out of wedlock.
It's her rags to riches story.
I know. I'm just being a bitch.
They all like to do that.
I know. They have the sense of importance, you know, and fuck if they remember where they came from, you know.
Oh, they're trying to appeal to people who are still in rags.
That will forever piss me off. Like, if I ever got to the top, I would never do that bullshit. I mean, I would remind people to not forget where they came from, you know, because you could just as easily be back there tomorrow.
I think lots of people have stories about how their background wasn't great.
Oh, of course, but I don't go around, you know. Yeah, you do.
The sad thing is that.
Oh, there you go with the what do they call that? The prosperity gospel. Donate more, receive more. Yeah.
In the old days, I could laugh at you for being American, for believing in this nonsense. I can't do that anymore because the UK is fucking shitter than. I've nothing to laugh at anymore.
You could laugh at both at the same time.
Exactly. You know, I'm surprised how prevalent Mormonism is in the UK now.
I can't laugh at the UK because it's beyond a joke. It's fucking shit.
Yeah, Hunter had a good point here on the absentee ballots. And I think this is the case, that as long as they are postmarked by election day, they have to be counted.
Okay.
Well, see, someone was saying that they don't, though. That was the big argument. Does it even if they arrive after, even if they'll
Well, no, what I remember seeing, and Purple brought it to my attention, and yeah, I remember now, is that they had to be received no later than 3 days after the election, but they did have to be postmarked.
Is he wearing a yarmulke?
I don't.
No, there's
Oh,
somebody.
no.
I think that's
No,
somebody.
he didn't. Oh, okay,
Somebody or
Nick's
something behind him. Yeah.
What is interesting to me about this picture is that the only people laughing are the two jerks.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody else seems to be laughing with them.
Yeah.
Although, in all fairness, you have Trudeau to deal with.
Oh, he's fine. He's not a problem. If the Conservatives try to make him out to be a problem, they don't like him because he's pro-rights and pro-freedom and stuff. But
Although, to his credit, he did get that universal credit out pretty damn quick.
oh, he's made his party's made a lot of great changes, and people make fun of him because he's not an eloquent public speaker. But
Can we
we've
just
seen a lot of
point?
improvements here.
Can we just
before-
remind people of one very simple fact? That Biden has a stutter, and
and
before
he has to think before he speaks.
Yeah. So before Justin Trudeau was elected, we had the Progressive Conservative Party in power for way too long with a guy named Stephen Harper, and they kept getting reelected, and they got they started they removed funding for science programs. They shut down anything that was beneficial for women's rights. They were kind of against all that stuff. They were basically laying the foundation for converting Canada into a theocracy. Once the Liberals got in, they undid a lot of that. Now they've got more to do. But they've gotten rid of the main thing. So we're seeing a lot of improvements. I don't like politicians. I think they're all I don't trust any of them. But
right.
I sure as heck like the current party a lot more than the previous one.
Well, you're talking about the defunding, and that's what Trump has got going right now. His rule is if it moves, defund it. He's doing the thing about suspending the payroll tax, which is the funding for Social Security and for Medicare. He's talking about funding the cities he doesn't like, that he's calling anarchist areas. Pardon me?
Who is?
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
He's writing executive order after executive order. Yeah, he's in these places that he thinks are not moving quickly enough or hard enough on what he views as the horrible element, the riotous element. Yeah.
He has no expertise to make those determinations.
Of course not, but it's going to go until it's overturned, and there you have one of the main reasons that the courts are being packed with people friendly to the fascist party, because if you go to a court that doesn't pay any attention to what is just, then you have no recourse.
So how many judges have they put into place now since they got elected?
They're working on number 3, or is she already confirmed?
Huh?
No,
I thought they were bragging about having over 300 in place.
Oh, you mean like Supreme Court or just judges?
Yeah. You're quite right. Well over 300.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a couple hundred at least.
And basically what was happening there, from my understanding, is that the second Nazi in command, Mitch McConnell, was holding up any confirmations until the climate was what he considered right. And then just one after another, assembly line.
Yeah, well, and that's the disgusting thing now, is that during the last election, they held up the process for 9 months, saying that no president should be able to appoint a Supreme Court judge during the last year of his term.
Yeah,
I
and
think
guess
it
what?
I think it was John Oliver who covered this, and he was showing some of the process where these appointed judges were getting up to talk and to be questioned by the Senate or whatever it was. And then some of them were crying about it because they didn't know what it meant to file briefs and things like that, which are legal things that lawyers do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was crying his eyes out, and they kept asking him. He kept crying. I was like, "This is who you want as a judge? Are you serious?"
Like, I refer to Mitch McConnell as Frau Bissiner.
Two things that people don't these days tend to look back at history or recorded evidence.
Yeah.
In America land, you've got the Lindsey Graham person. I had a conversation about this a few years ago. He's on record on VT saying he literally says with his own mouth and his own words, replay the words that I am saying. I am being honest. He said those fucking words, but he was lying. Number two, there's another quote that's on record on VT, which says, I forget who said it, but it's politics. We are lying.
Well, I get what you're saying, but to back up the judge, you're saying, have you ever written a brief, things like that. When I worked at the courthouse, I never knew a single. Well, we were outside the courthouse. We were in another call center, but I never knew of a judge who actually wrote anything. I wrote the warrants to arrest, to seize property. I signed them, But I was a clerk of court. So
yeah, but this person being questioned is being asked as a lawyer, did you ever submit any briefs?
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was.
No, they're not judges yet. They're being in the process of being appointed, and he started crying because he didn't even know what it meant. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
This is what pisses me off immensely. This really annoys me because this is public record on BT. You can see Lindsey Graham saying a thing. Public record. It's for everybody to see. And he actually, go and look for the clip. I can't remember where he said it. I've no idea. But he fucking said, record me. He said to the press, record this and play it back.
Are you talking about the one where I believe his words were, and you can use my words against me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dan.
Yes, I know the one. Yeah, and the thing is, there are going to be those who use his words against him, but it'll be too late.
Also, I didn't want
they
to
want
have...
that. They want that confirmation yesterday.
I'm not familiar with how to raise a point in American land, so can I raise my hand, please?
You just
nobody around here knows how to do it either, so don't.
The loudest one.
Feel
It's
bad.
like harder.
Say again.
Why the fuck does the Canadian person sound so fucking sexy? What the fuck is going on?
No, you're the sexy one.
Have you got a new mic?
Nope. Same microphone. No, you're the sexy one. You're just imagining things.
He's sexually attracted to your sunny disposition. You're all gentle and.
That's not my problem.
Oh, for the love of Saint good.
Do whatever you want to do, but count me the hell out.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I think both Sunday and Tuesday. The way this whole thing is just going tits up is, and the damn thing. As I wrote earlier this week, if the orange piece of shit loses the election, his followers will do everything they can to start a civil war. If he wins, the Dems will just roll over and die.
Well, that jackboot son of
what's been going on. The Trump opposition has been doing nothing.
Well, that jackboot son of a bitch was on TV last night saying that he couldn't commit to a peaceful transfer of power.
Yeah, isn't that something? I mean, that right there, I would consider a high crime or a misdemeanor at the very least.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's threatened it,
Yeah,
it's conspiracy to commit.
Yeah, advocacy of violence or whatever, at the very least, yes. And there are those who are concerned that he and the fascist party are going to be pulling off a coup. They have not to worry. It's already been done. Democracy is dead here.
What you say about the Dems rolling over, unfortunately, is kind of what put us in the position now with the courts, that there is a precedent for the Supreme Court deciding the election, because way back in 2000,
yeah, I remember
they did it even though it was clearly outside their authority, and the Democrats didn't object to it. They let it happen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why did they just let that happen? Why didn't they fight it then?
I remember those trucks rolling down the highway, and they were just following the news crew was following the whole time, with all the files and everything getting to the Supreme Court.
I mean, I know that there are some people out there who don't like hearing me say this sort of thing, but I'll say it anyway. This is why I'm happy I'm dying. And as far as I'm concerned, I can't die soon enough.
Yeah, you've got to stop doing that, Diana. Please stop doing that.
I still want to get you to a state where you can get better medical coverage and keep you around a few more years.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to end up doing a video on that one too, by the way. But
the thing is, we're all going to die at some point. So, whatever.
I can only say that I love you and I want you to stay with us, but same point in time, that's all I can say.
Yeah, you know what? One of the best things I've ever discovered in my life is you people, because you're awesome. And 2020 is not a good year.
No, it's been fucking terrible.
It's very shit.
Here's the piece of shit about the whole thing. Let's say that the orange piece of shit loses the election. Let's say that the fascist party doesn't go off the deep end. It's still not over. This has been brewing for quite a long time. I know that throughout the Obama administration it's been brewing, and possibly before that.
Well,
this is not the problem. This is just a symptom.
Yeah. As far as this election goes, I think if Trump loses, he has pissed off enough people in the intelligence agency and in the military that they will forcibly remove him. And for all their big talk and parading around with their big guns, I think most of his supporters are cowards, and I don't think any of them are going to stand up if they see tanks rolling down the street.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they won't. They'll cower.
So it's like I think most of it is bluff and bluster. The military will get involved, and they won't be on Trump's side.
Mm.
Well, what I don't know is how what's the word I'm looking for?
Personally, I honestly believe if you watch a lot of the clips of Trump, like getting off Air Force One and things like this, and you see his security detail around him, you can read some of these people that they are doing what they do because they took an oath to their position.
You know what?
But you can tell that, they really wouldn't care about somebody killing him if it wasn't for the fact that it's their job to keep him alive.
Well, as a good friend of mine said, he goes, every straight man has their price. So, someone could pay them off, and they might just stand back. I'm not trying to say anything I shouldn't say on a stream, but you know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is I think these people, they take the oath they took to the position very seriously.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about
it. But they have no loyalty for the individual person.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what I don't know is how honest this election is going to be.
Well, that's what I worry about, because look what's happened over in Belarus.
Yeah, exactly. And here's to hear me say it, is quite another thing, when you're going there. No matter what the results, I'm not sure I can trust them to be valid. Even if Joe Biden comes up with numbers that make him win, I don't know if that's valid.
Yeah.
Just for someone to say that, think how fucked up things have to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Biden's going to need, a noticeable margin.
Yeah.
I think if it's a tight thing, I think we're going to be in trouble because then they're going to make the case for the Supreme Court deciding it.
Yeah. But I promised myself whatever happens on election night, I'm going to try not to cry either way, because it'll either be, tears of joy or tears of, oh my fucking God.
I'm not even going to watch. Election night would just stress me out, and I don't think it's going to be decided.
It's going to stress me
It's
out
not
even
going
more
to be
if I don't
decided.
watch.
No, it
Yeah,
will
so
not
I
be
don't see
decided
any
until.
point in watching it.
It'll stress me out even more if I don't,
Yeah, maybe the 7th or 8th. It
Yeah,
may be decided,
yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely not the 3rd.
But you see, I was so hopeful last time, and I was so dead set that Hillary was going to win.
A lot of people were, and I'm not playing revisionist history here or anything. I knew already by the time the first couple of states had reported that we were ass deep in trouble.
Yeah. But I was in tears, like literal. I'm not even joking. And then I was like, how am I going to explain this? Because my oldest niece, she was so excited. She was like, we're going to have, a woman president. Like she was, bouncing off the walls. And I said, look, we just have to see what happens,
Well,
But
I think part of that and what we're at risk of happening again, because it's happened several times before, that when it seemed obvious the Democratic candidate was going to win, there are thousands of people who decide that, well, it's already decided, so it doesn't really matter if I show up to vote.
And that's what I fucking hate. I cannot stand that with a passion.
There's a possibility that'll happen. Yes, definitely.
But apparently, voter turnout in this country is not even 50%.
Yeah, well,
right. Half of everybody stayed the fuck home.
Yeah,
as much as I don't
understand
like
the math, because they're saying that Biden has like 54% in the polls, but that's only assuming that 100% show up, which never happens.
Are you okay?
Right.
Trump is guaranteed 30 to 35% of the vote.
Are you okay?
So that means the voter turnout has to be above 70% for him to lose.
And doing things.
Okay. So
it's not going to be there. It is not going to be there.
Yeah, I just
not in the U.S.
Look, Louisiana is a no-brainer. I know he's going to win Louisiana. He always does. It's always red.
Yeah, most of the southern states, the Republicans can bank on.
Yeah. Although Mississippi sometimes goes, it can go either way.
A really surprising one in recent polls that's worth watching is the Republicans have always counted on Texas. And
and it looks like Texas is kind of
tip.
Looks like it's kind of purple. If you'll excuse the expression.
Purple rain.
I mean, have they finally fucked up enough that even Texans are changing their minds?
They have more of the Latino vote, So, and Latinos are angry. They're sick of it. They hate Trump. I mean, look at these alleged hysterectomies, forced hysterectomies. Yeah.
Well, I think it's that. I think it's also, Trump's big thing about building the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people in Texas are now realizing what it would mean if that actually happened.
I know, because he's trying to go
entire towns in Texas would be on the wrong side of the wall.
Well, that sort of thing is already happening. Yeah.
There was some guy took him to court because he was going to go right through his property.
Yeah, well, and that was part of it. Is the federal government has already seized property in Texas for it.
Wow.
I know, right? I'm like, look, if you want to seize the property and pay my mortgage off, okay, then maybe we can talk. But if you're going to seize the property and I still have the fucking mortgage, no.
Yeah, well, basically, the federal government has been putting people out of business.
Yeah.
Because it has been seizing the property their business was on and they're supposed to give them fair market value, but how that's calculated, especially in terms of somebody running a business, is questionable.
Exactly. But, he's already got his little wall around the White House. Have you seen the pictures of that when he put up a little barricade? It looks so tacky, and that's not supposed to be barriered off at all. I think there's some law, not constitutional, but there's some law on the books that it's not supposed to be as barriered off as it is. And when I saw those images, I was just like, totalitarian state right there, We're not even allowed access to our White House, That's all it said to me. It didn't scream, a baby hiding. It just screamed like you are cut off. But that's just my opinion, for whatever it's worth.
Hey, we've got Dick Dawson coming in now.
This whole thing is not going to be over in my lifetime. I can tell you that right now. And it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, even were I to make it through, I wouldn't see the end of it. And I thought it was bad back in '73. No, I thought Watergate was bad. Watergate was nothing compared to this shit.
Yeah. But, if things really get bad, my choices are to stay here and fight, or I could go back to New Zealand and not be able to leave because I have a student loan that I'm barely paying for. Or I could try and pay for my dad's citizenship to Australia because his dad was born there, go there. Or I could just move to China.
Yeah, I really don't have much choice. I'm pretty much stuck here. More than anything, finances are not going to let me be moved.
I'm definitely stuck here because I'm poor and I'm old. And quite a few of us have that problem. It helps to have a hell of a lot of money. And they certainly don't want someone in their 60s.
Yeah. Well, and I'm in the same state because I've got a partial disability. So they're not really going to want anyone who can't work a full-time job.
Well, there's another problem I have. Yeah, because I'm on a full disability. Not knowing how long that's going to last because piece of shit fully intends to put an end to that.
But aren't you terrified of the consequences? Because, let's just do the crazy out there thought experiment. If Trump is going to be the fascist that we think he's, playing out to be, what is the first thing they do to disable people?
Oh, right. And the darn thing is that I would rather do it myself because if they do it, it won't be comfortable. It won't be peaceful.
Yeah. And that's what scares me too.
Well, what scares me that there's a lot of people who don't want to vote for Biden, and I can understand that. But
hell, I don't want to vote for Biden. I'm going to. Sorry, Kate, but I'm going to hold my nose. I'm going to vote for just the way I held my nose and voted for Clinton.
Well, right now we've got to get out there because Trump has made it clear that he wants to prevent there from ever being a fair election again.
Right.
So, letting Trump win means we may never have a chance to vote for anyone else.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Randolph, you said Dick Dawson wanted to come in? He said, can Dick Dawson join us? Or is that actually, maybe I'm getting confused.
I think somebody else made that comment. I was just...
Oh, that's right. Purple was talking about Dick Dawson.
Yeah.
I had a blonde moment.
I'm so confused. The whole world is spinning. Well, that's good for us, Nancy. If the world wasn't spinning, all the Chinese would fall off. What? Anyway.
Why all the Chinese?
I know, right? But, okay, was I the only one who tried to dig to China as a little kid?
Oh, my, that was such a trope when I was young. Yeah,
I'm showing my age. Someone told me I could dig to China, so I tried.
Have you heard of the Fire Sign Theater?
No.
That was from one of their albums.
Oh, okay.
They were comedy group from the 60s. A lot of drug humor, a lot of social commentary humor, that sort of thing.
You know, I tried to convince someone of what Puff the Magic Dragon song was about. They wouldn't believe me.
It's about the end of childhood. No, it's not about drugs. No, it's not, really.
Well, I was told that, but I was like, listen to it, like, but even that, though, they probably wouldn't have believed me if he said it was the end of childhood, you know. They were just like, it's just a nice song. It means nothing, you know. With that vacant expression.
There you go.
And dead eyes. Yeah.
I've been working on a parody for it called Puff the Magic Doobie. Lived in fields of grass. Then along came the government and scooped his friends away. And it goes on. That's not finished yet.
Kung Fu fighting? Okay, Doorknob.
The parody would definitely be about marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
Fast as lightning. Oh my gosh, that's taking me way back now.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, you're somewhere wondering if you fell asleep.
Here comes the beatbox.
Somebody really needs to pull up the intro theme to Hong Kong Phooey.
Doorknob ahead. Puff the Magic Kung Fu fighting.
Yes. Doorknob. Damn it! Now it's stuck in my head. But
Sorry about that.
It's all right. It'll get up eventually. Do you guys watch One Ring 42, who does the secular D&D? And he does.
I haven't seen him very much. No, I haven't been watching him.
I don't watch the D&D things.
He got it stuck in my head that Mitch McConnell is the geriatric Congress turtle. Geriatric Congress turtle. Now, every time I see Mitch McConnell, all I think is geriatric Congress. And legitimately, the other day, I could not remember his name. I'm like, geriatric Congress turtle. What's his name? It's stuck in my head. But every time I see him, he looks like a freaking turtle. Like his head is all like this, you know.
There you go. I mean, if you think Trump is a problem, the Congress turtle is definitely going back. 25
he can go back
years.
He can go back to the hills of Kentucky for all I give a shit. Send him back.
Well, the damn thing with him, the way I've heard it said, he is the most hated man in Kentucky, but he stays in his Senate seat because he's managed to convince everybody that the opposition, no matter who, it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know.
What
Is Doc still here?
That is pathetic.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot
I'm
of that
listening.
There's a lot of that goes on here, especially in the Deep South, where the redneck poor white person.
Look
is
at him!
saying, I may have it bad, but
yeah, he does look like a turtle.
Time. The Land Before Time.
I added the last item to that list, so I modified this one.
Approchnie. I'm amazed that they are as high.
Yes, I do.
I'm amazed that they are as high as 38.
You know what sucks though? Is that like they really thought that was going to bring money to the little town, that it was in, and no one has bought anything. Like they just they don't even stay there. They stay in Cincinnati, and then they come over. Like
yeah, if I ever go there, I would probably go with my family. The only reason we'd go to Kentucky would be to take a look at that and then probably just carry on. We probably wouldn't even stay the night.
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself doing that. Yeah.
You can't see it from the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't even float. Some replica.
Yeah, I've been at their entrance gate, and you cannot see it from there. So the only way you're going to see it is to go into the
elevator
parking lot,
shaft.
or there you go.
I want to hear him say that. I'm imagining it in Dick Dawson's voice. It's just perfect.
But the old man and I, last year we were going to go up to Ohio because I wanted to go to Six Flags. But then when I was about to book the tickets, I was really upset because they're not open on weekdays. They're only open on weekends. So it wouldn't have worked for us to go up there because we were going to swing by, the Ark Park and maybe throw some eggs or something, and keep on driving. But apparently Six Flags is not open on the weekdays. But apparently, someone up there told me it's not even worth it anyway. So, but I'd
there's
seen
always going to be detractors. I suggest you figure it out for yourself.
Well, that's why
I'd be interested in seeing it, but I'm not going to give them any of my money.
Yeah. What's that?
I'd be interested in seeing it, but I'm not going to give them any of my money.
Exactly. But no, Matt and I have always said, we've always been like that. We never, listen to anyone else. We go try it ourselves. If it was crap, okay, it was crap, But I'd seen a lot of YouTube videos, and it looked really nice and clean. And the rides, they were a little dated, but they looked fun because all the Six Flags parks are DC comics, and that's what I love more than Marvel. What's this?
The Rainbow Arc, Grant County,
Yes.
Kentucky, USA.
Yes.
Partly paid for by the generosity of taxpayers. Ken Ham approves of this message.
Yes.
Just love the colors in this. It's just one of the most professional looking memes I've ever made.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love that.
The Rainbow Arc. It's he doesn't even think what he's doing. He's so against what the rainbow symbolizes, and yet he's going to use the rainbow himself.
Oh no!
Well,
no,
he goes on and on about he's
that.
reclaiming the rainbow because that's God's symbol, and he's
We'll
taking it back from
that
people
too.
like me, and it's
Man, him approving that message is just as fake as that guy that started Hands Across America and then he stole all the money.
Well, I made this meme, so it's you can blame me for putting these things together. But
No, I love this meme, but I don't know if anyone knew about that when they did the whole Hands Across America thing. The guy that organized it stole all the money that they raised.
That just keeps on happening. There needs to be some government oversight.
I have the solution to all this. We put Ken Ham on his own ark and send him back to Australia.
On his ark?
If it sinks, he obviously didn't have enough faith.
But it's a
There you
facade.
go.
He even admits it's a facade.
It's not seaworthy.
I know.
And he goes on about how, the Amish built this, isn't it nice and lovely? They didn't even put a coat of Duluth on that thing. One or two coats of Duluth on that thing would have,
Dick Dawson's asking how I'm doing. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Doc Fearsome, if you were listening, not talking, we needed a slot. I don't want to say, it's not my channel, but I just saw that that he kind of wanted to come in. But not my channel.
I can't actually hop off. My phone is being kind of a shit anyway. That's why I kept dropping out. It keeps restarting on me. So
We wondered if you were falling asleep.
Yeah. I mean, not trying to be a dick.
No, I mean, I'm mostly just listening, and also people keep talking, so I don't really have much opportunity, but I don't really have anything to add to what's going on anyway. So
Don't just hate it when people do that.
Renee, you say seaworthy, but not seaworthy. I've seen the inside of that thing when Jeff did the tour. He and Sean Hufford actually bought tickets to the inside of that place, and they were doing the filming while they were going around.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't spend the $50 to go in there and take a look around. It's crap.
It costs $50 to go in?
I think they've moved up the price. I think it's more than that now.
It's $40 per person and $10 to park your car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you go
okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was
apparently
50
the
per
food's
person.
not bad.
Okay. So
Apparently the food's
I
not bad.
corrected. Yeah.
I'd probably still go to it if I was traveling across U.S.
Yeah.
I'd put the money in and do it. It's they
Have
have overhead expenses to run it all.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what their perspective is, So
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go more than once, though.
No, but have you guys seen the one where Ken Ham's walking around the ark with Bill Nye, the science guy?
I've heard about that.
Is it the one that he called the second debate?
It's like an hour. It's an hour and 42 minutes of them walking around. But like, if you got time to watch it, it's great.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It gets to one point where Ken says, "Can I pray for you?" And Bill's like, "I could hardly stop you." And he was like, that look of like, "But you're supposed to say yes or no." And it's like you can see the wheels turning and about to explode. It's like,
yeah. Well, he threw him off his script.
Exactly. It's like tick, 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 boom.
Sorry, what did he want to do?
He wanted to pray for. He asked. So Ken Ham asked Bill Nye, the science guy. He said, "Can I pray for you?" And Bill said, "I could hardly stop you." And then he kind of looked at him like, "What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to say yes or no," kind of look, And he didn't know what to do. It looked like he was about to explode. Because, as Purple was saying, he threw him off the script.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting was that the debate, such as they call it, between Ken Ham and Bill Nye, that to a good extent funded this boat-shaped building. That wasn't supposed to be Bill Nye. That was supposed to be a friend of mine by the name of Aaron Ra.
Everybody told Bill not to do it. Like,
yeah.
They begged him not to do it. Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was good that he did that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was funny, especially when he was telling the story about his grandfather or his father getting, tied, they're tied by a mortician.
Stuart wants to replay the clip we were laughing at before.
As long as it's viewed as what it was, entertainment.
What I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This is something different.
So is Doc gonna?
No, you were all talking about Ken Ham, and I think we should really think deeply about our thoughts, and we should all together say Hebbo.
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 Charlie Hebdo. Oh no, that's Hebdo.
Oh.
It's so easy to join.
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 It's so easy to join. It's so easy to join.
You just have to say Tarvu's prayer, and that's it. You're a Tarvuist.
Baby.
Otibi Nuna. Midfiti Fiti Nuna.
Arvu iminti barvu.
Can you pause it for a second? Just pause it. I'm expecting to see Dick Dawson show up at some point here. I mean, in the video there.
Oh, yes. But no, it's like...
The thing is, you guys were all getting a little... You were all getting a little bit too shouty and talking about nonsense, so I thought I would just bring it down a little bit so that we could remember.
Politics are synonymous with nonsense. Okay, that makes sense.
We need to remember who we are and where we're from and who created
wait a minute
it.
Like we have some more people coming in here.
Hello.
Yeah.
So is this the person I don't want to talk to thing of the year or something like that? You've got Paula Dean, and then you have politics, and then no.
I really feel sorry for Paula Dean. I do. And I know I shouldn't, but I feel like she's a product of the time that she was born in, and she did make a heartfelt apology, but still I was like, you shouldn't have said that word, and you also should have let your publicists and lawyers deal with it rather than opening your big fat trap again and again and again, because I could help you dig up stupid.
Doc, if you don't mind dropping out, we've got other people waiting who'd like to come in.
Okay.
Is it gonna?
I'll see y'all later.
Is it gonna be
Okay.
We'll chat again.
Hang on a cotton
Because
that's what
we
it
have
is. Sorry.
X from Utah Outcast.
Oh, hey, X.
Hey.
Oh,
Help if
yay.
I wasn't
oh, yay,
muted.
oh,
Hi,
yay.
hi, everybody. How's it
Oh
going?
my god, I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Hang on. We've all got to say hebo.
Hebo!
Hello.
Hello.
Hebo!
Hello.
Oh,
Shit, I haven't seen you in a hot minute, X.
Yeah, I just got done. I got done doing some Twitch streaming here a minute ago, and I'm gonna crash probably in about 20 minutes. But I saw the link that just popped up in the chat, and I'm like, oh, let's see what that's about. So
I was
appreciate
watching
you
some of
stopping
that.
in.
I was watching Minecraft stuff you're doing with that giant pyramid. How's that coming along?
oh, God, that is a brutal project. I don't even know why I started doing it. I'm like,
It's awesome.
it's a pyramid that's 128 blocks from center mass bottom all the way to the top. And so you have 128, and God, it's like the lowest spar is 256 blocks by times 4. So, and it goes up. What's the word I'm looking for there? It's factorially, that's the biggest number factorial. So 255 times 4, but it's like, it goes up. It's fucking huge, man.
Have I been in a coma and I'm watching that Jorgen Roche person, whatever he's called?
No.
Oh, Doorknob Head's comment is good. Utah looks like a minion of Satan right now. I knew there was a reason I liked him.
It's convenient, member of the Satanic Temple and all that. So,
hey, so have you seen the open source alternative to Minecraft called Minetest.net?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one lets you build structures up to, I think, 32,000 blocks high and 32,000 blocks.
Sounds like a Chinese ripoff.
And it's free. You don't have to pay for any accounts or anything.
Open
sounds like a
source
Chinese
voxel
ripoff.
game. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm running Minecraft server for my kids, but we're probably going to do some Minetest stuff as well at some point. So,
can I just point out, I'm an adult. I don't care about Minecraft.
I know plenty of adults that care about Minecraft.
I mean, that's cool. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can change the topic.
No, he's been doing this all night.
Well, I don't play Minecraft either.
Cool. So let's just have dead air then. All right, cool. That's better.
Okay. Yeah, there you are.
I'm looking at the background, X. Like, what is that background you got?
Oh, that's Blade Runner.
I thought it was. I was trying to.
Nice.
Did you get that from like the Steam background thing that they have?
No, I just do searches for images all the time, and I find anything that I like. I'm like, oh, that's a nice HD resolution background. I'm going to use that.
Because I use like Steam has a thing you can download, and it has like backgrounds for the PC and everything, or whatever you're using, like desktop backgrounds, and it has like cyberpunk, like anything you could possibly think of. It costs about $5, but it is well worth it.
Let me see if I can add another one here. Let's see what other fun ones I've got.
So you are using a green screen, correct?
Yeah, green screen right behind me here.
I really need your help because I just bought one and I have no idea what the fuck I am doing.
What are you using to? What's your preferred broadcast thing?
See, this is the thing. Like, I've been trying to use OBS, but I can't figure it the fuck out. So if you just tell me what I have to use, I will buy it, whatever it is.
No, OBS is fine because it's open source and it's free.
Yeah.
So
OBS is quite good.
It's got more than you'll ever need to use. Yeah. It's just a matter of using. You have to. I watched a handful of tutorials on setting the whole thing up before I even got started, and so you're running Windows or Mac.
Windows.
Okay, so you need to do window capture for whatever you're using that you want to cap. You could do. Do you have webcam or do you have
Well, I have a webcam, but I also have a setup camera on a tripod in the other room where the green screen's set up.
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to capture the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And you either select window capture or you would select the camera capture, and then you have to set up a filter inside of it. So if you right click properties and you can go into filter, add a filter there, and then all you have to do is just put chroma key is the one you need to look for.
And what Dick Dawson's pointing out here about the lighting, it's very important. Yeah. I saw in some tutorial that they're talking about you want a separate light pointing on the green screen itself so you don't get shadows.
Yeah.
So
I've got a setup
remote for my lighting here. Without the lighting, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's light on down here. So
I managed in OBS to get to the point where I could make the green screen go from green to like, black, playing around with like the chroma key. But I'm willing to admit I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
So once it keys out the green, all you have to do is set up a background image underneath your camera.
See, that's the thing that I'm having trouble with. I'm like, where do I put? Like, I'm being totally blonde about it. I'm just like, we didn't have green screen when I was in film and TV.
You're blonde? Huh?
What's that?
Look at me and Diana, and you're calling yourself blonde?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm the original blonde around here. No, OBS is driving me crazy because I'll get a show going, and there'll be all sorts of problems. It happens every time. And then I'll get the audio going, and I'll get everything going, and everything's just fine.
Practice.
Turn everything off, and the next show, all of it's turned off again.
Okay, but
I haven't touched it, but
speaking of
I have to take my mic off the line. And
if you guys are willing to share that right there. Okay, so here's my setup.
Okay.
Commodore 64, my favorite computer.
Change it around.
The more I see of your stuff, the more I like it. I got to tell you.
So over here, you have all of your scenes over here. So like this is just my waiting scene, and then this is like my camera on with green screen that I've got on here.
Okay.
And so what I have here is I have text, which is what you see this guy up here. You have your surround, which I made another transparent PNG so I could have just this black border around everything. And then your video capture, of course, it's not going to do it because I'm using this to talk to you guys right now. So it's not going to show up in two different places.
Okay.
So you'd have your camera here, like your video capture. And let's see, it's Cam Link. So that's what I've got for this one. But you go to properties. No, sorry, filters. You set up your chroma key in there. And then once you do that, you just have to have your camera capture above your background image.
Okay.
So once you key it out, this will be what shows up behind you.
Okay.
And then there's all sorts of audio and video and all sorts of other fun stuff that you get to mess around with. That it's not a user-friendly experience. Let's just put it that way.
Because this is maybe am I doing the wrong thing that I want to pre-record and then I pull out my SD card, come back to the computer, like download it, because that's what I'm doing. Because like I have a kind of a setup studio here in my front.
So you're recording your videos in a separate area, and then you want to bring it in and edit it. On. Okay, that makes it a little bit more, not more difficult, but what program are you using for video editing?
Your picture's frozen.
Oh, hang on. Let me stop cam, turn it back on.
Yeah, there we go.
No, I'm still frozen.
Still frozen.
Let me turn it off and turn it back on. That usually fixes thing in Windows.
Sorry about interrupting there. Yeah,
no, I appreciate it. I had a dumb look on my face. So
can I interrupt with a bit of British sense for 1 minute, please? First of all, green screen is easy peasy. Oh, I've scared him off. It's a piece of piss. Absolute piece of piss. Green screen is the thing that you kids call it. It's nothing spectacular or complicated. However, that bald person has got fucking good audio. I'm going to kill him. Who is he? Who the fuck is he? Because his audio is superb.
Oh, you've never watched Utah Outcast?
Oh, is it? I can't see the screen, Purple.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's from the Utah Outcast.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
He's been doing podcasting for years, so he's really got the audio figured out.
Yeah,
I'm very familiar with the Utah people. My gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm not worthy.
Don't. Come on, man. Don't worry about that.
Well, to answer your question, I downloaded a shit ton of these programs because I didn't know which one was user friendly, what would work. But I have the VSDC, and I also have Shortcuts, which Brainbug told me to download.
Okay, I would say only because this is what I use, and I've made the switch over to PC relatively soon. Like I was using iMac for a long time, and so I was using Final Cut Pro there for a really long time.
I can over his voice. I really am.
So I've moved over to God, what the hell is the name of it? It's DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci Resolve.
Yep, it's freeware too. So it's owned by the same company that puts out those Blackmagic cameras, the ones that are like, I don't know, $8,000 to $20,000 each. You know, so they offer their software for free. as long as you hang on, let me see. So they put it out there for free because they want you to buy their cameras, because that way that you can get a free license when you buy their cameras and stuff. But like you can do up to 4K, no limits on how long the video is, no matter how many audio sources you have. It's full movie making software.
Wow.
Like you can,
That's great.
and it's fantastic. It's easier to use than most other stuff that I've used. I've tried HitFilm, I've tried a couple of other things. And the cool thing is if you bought a license for it, it unlocks video card rendering, which I really could use, but it's still hella fast without the video card rendering. It's all going through CPU, but I've got a 16 core AMD that does pretty good. So
sweet. I'm downloading that right now.
Yeah, it's good software.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of professional editing software that you can get for free.
Yep.
I was actually told that the DaVinci relies pretty heavily on having a good graphics card.
A lot of the things that you've seen on your movie screens have been done with stuff that you can get for free. So we've just been told about DaVinci. That's a free thing. There are other free things, but it's kind of what your computer can do and how you like to use things.
Yeah. Well, because right now I've been in the process of shopping for components to build a new computer on a budget.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was told, that to run DaVinci, you really need a good graphics card.
Yeah, and see, I'm lucky enough that I have enough patrons that I was able to get the new computer and max out a whole bunch of stuff on it, because it's nice to be able to future-proof. There's no such thing when it comes to computer hardware, but you could get something that you're going to be comfortable for at least 3 or 4 years, And considering I crank out something daily, that's like at least 360 videos a year. So
yeah,
it's handy to have stuff where I have less worry about processing time and uploading time, and it's nice. So
for what you're looking for, Purple, there is no right or wrong. It's what works for you. So
yeah,
all these
that's just by trying to figure out what's going to work decently without me spending too much money.
Yeah, I think that what you've got to remember for what you want to do, and I do know what you want to do, don't listen to all these fancy bald people with the sexy voices, because they're just going to make you spend lots of money. And my favorite editing software is Final Cut Pro 10 on the Mac.
Yep, I love that. I love that software.
It's utterly beautiful, but obviously you can't use it unless you've got a mic. So,
well, I've got a snowball mic, which is pretty good.
Yeah, my old man has one of those.
Yeah, snowballs are just fine.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I had with the system I was using, is it decided to stop recognizing the snowball mic.
Actually, it might not be cool. I can't read it from back here, but it's pretty good mic. Whatever it is.
Let me drop out real quick and I'll come right back in, because I don't know why my camera's not working.
Okay.
I'm not using it now, but I've got a blue Yeti and it's black.
But yeah,
okay,
I don't have a lot of
blue
experience.
Yeti if it's black. Okay.
Purple, can we not let him back in, please? Because he sounds really sexy. Can we not let him back in?
Yeah, and I'm cautious that I can only see one of your hands.
There we go. Your video's working now.
Yep. It was just a matter of the browser didn't like that.
Yeah.
His audio is way too fucking good. He sounds like a sexy motherfucker.
That's why I need him in here. I need to cash in on the star power that when people find out he was in here, will actually watch this.
All right, Purple Rain, can we see both of your hands, please? For the duration? No. For the duration of X being here, I need to see both of your hands.
Are you accusing me of something here?
No, because I can see your hands.
I'm not going to lie. I do love...
She's sharp.
I absolutely love Bald Man's audio. I really do. It's absolutely top notch and beautiful.
Actually, it's looking like Baldman. He's a little shave there. I'm seeing some hair.
Yeah, I meant to do it today. I just didn't get a chance to get around to it.
This is awesome having everybody here.
Yeah. Telling you. Not much that gets past. But before you came in, X, we were talking about dreaded election predictions.
Oh boy, yeah.
And how terrified we all are that,
kind of fucking tired of the whole thing, to be honest.
Like,
I'm ready to cast my vote and get it the fuck done.
Are you going to vote by absentee or not?
No, the thing is, like, Utah's vote by mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got my mail-in ballot right here. I'm gonna send it in tomorrow.
So mine should probably be coming in within like the next week or so, I would think, because we tend to get them pretty early here. So
that's what Donald Trump's against, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but this is a Republican state, so he doesn't have anything to say against that. So it's okay in this state.
It's okay, But one of the girls I was talking to, Jen Aldrich, said she got her ballot paper and it said Kanye West on it. But I thought that he was too late to register for anything. So how the hell is he on the ballot paper?
He got on some of the state's ballots.
There's the thing. I'm still waiting for my ballot because there was a problem in Pennsylvania of finalizing the ballots, and they couldn't do anything until they had them finalized. And I haven't heard of any sending the ballots out yet, so I still check my mailbox every day, and I'm not finding any. It's like Charlie Brown, at the Charlie Brown Christmas, he opens it up. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, that sort of thing.
I got a rock.
I got a rock. I love that.
Didn't he get a potato?
No, every time when he went trick or treating with his ghost costume with many holes, it was,
yes, absolutely.
Everybody kept giving him rocks.
That poor kid.
Oh.
Good grief
for him.
You spent the last 2 hours talking about American politics, and as a random British person who's now excited and slightly aroused, I want to talk about.
Hands where I can see them.
I want to talk about nerdy things.
For the record, we haven't been on 2 hours yet.
You didn't want us talking about Minecraft, so I think your nerdy thing suggestion is kind of already out the window, isn't it?
Yeah.
My kids love Minecraft, so that's the reason I play it as much as I do. So it's a nice little thing that we can bond with each other over. So
my kid plays it. I run a server for them with a bunch of plugins. We use the paper system. What do you use for plugins, or do you use plugins?
I use I don't use any mods really. I mainly just have just a couple of like texture packs. That's about the most I do.
Okay, you're doing plain.
Yeah, see,
it's pretty vanilla.
The only time I got to bond with my dad was when he asked me to fill in his benefit forms.
What?
He couldn't read, or he was illiterate, so I had to fill in the form so he could get his welfare check.
Oh. I missed her doing it. I heard something terrible.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh no.
Well, it's not just you, man. It's something funny with the audio here.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Randall's done that a few times tonight. And I'm like, no. Yeah.
What are they all talking about? Mini holes, all those holes, none of them filled.
That's Doorknob Head.
Yeah, I know Doorknob Head. He comes in the comments.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta know how to take him.
Yeah.
This thing unfortunately, there still are a lot of illiterate people in this country.
Yeah, there are, and that surprised me.
I'm from New Zealand.
Yeah, when we were living in Michigan, the guy next door to me would always bring stuff over for Sloth Girl to read it to him because he couldn't read them himself.
Yeah, but to his credit, he actually went to some continuational classes, and now he can actually read and write, which is good. But that must be really, really depressing and kind of down to like have to be like, I can't do this at X amount of age, and
Yeah.
And that's the really interesting thing when you look at the two sides of that coin. Your dad was illiterate. On the other hand, I cannot remember a time when I could not read. I was one of the lucky ones. They tell me that I would march up to some convenient adult with a book under my arm at the age of 2, demanding that adult read me the book and point out the words as they were reading. While I sat in the lap, and that's how I learned how to read. And the two sides are just way far apart.
I learned.
Go ahead.
sorry. The reason I have the Commodore 64 that you guys saw when I was showing you the screen share there is that's how I learned how to read.
Well, that's cool.
My dad, he was a very early computer adopter kind of guy. So we had like a whole bunch of like old 8086s we had. But the Commodore 64 was the one that had all the video games on it. So when he would go to work, I would want to play Time Pilot, or I'd want to play Pac-Man or something.
Oh,
and so
I remember Time Pilot.
David's Midnight Magic.
And he wrote down on a sheet of paper everything I needed to type up in order for me to learn how to play the game. And I was like 3 at the time. And so here I am hunting, pecking on the Commodore keyboard. That one looks like that thing. So let me write that there. Let me tap that. Let me tap there. And that's how I just picked up reading. So
there you go.
So for me, I have 2 types of dyslexia, and I'm also a little bit on the autism spectrum. It was significantly a problem for me when I was younger. In elementary school,
you're Canadian.
In elementary school, I had about grade 5 is when I started getting exposure to Commodore 64. Wow, what a difference that made for me with my learning, because unlike people, computers are consistent. And so it helped me a lot. I ended up teaching myself how to program. The principal arranged for me to have an extra hour after school if I wanted it to play in the computer lab on those 3 computers, the 3 Commodore 64s we had. And so I'd sit there sometimes for a couple hours before I headed home. And it was great because they'd forget that I'm there, right? So I got lots of time on it. So, and then I was writing software in grade 6, and then moving on to machine language because BASIC was too limited. And grade 7, I was breaking copy protection on games. It was wonderful. It was a great learning tool, really. So it was.
Yeah, all you youngsters that grew up with these things.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I'm going to call bullshit because they had computers for a long time. They had like what's the first sort of like those server room computers were out in like the 50s.
Yeah, I got
IBM mainframes. Yeah.
I got my first Commodore 64 a year after I graduated the Tech Institute.
So I think Utah and I probably share a certain fondness for the C64.
Oh yeah, I love that computer.
No, I still have a great fondness for it, and I'm kind of ticked that I lost all my equipment. But
I go back and I watch YouTube videos of guys playing some of my favorites, like Jumpman and
Jumpman Jr. Those are both great.
Yep.
Well, the only surviving copy of my first manuscript is on disc for a Commodore 64, and I now have no way to read them.
They have some
send it to X. They'll take care of it for you, right?
The Epic's winter game and summer games too. That was a great game at the time. God, what a good
game.
Yeah. You guys are making me feel old. This is the whole thing. You know, you're the kids, the little young kids doing the stuff with the computers and that sort of thing. In 1980, I'm guessing that sort of era.
Yeah, 82, 83 for me when I first started.
I considered myself very lucky to be working on a computer at the age of 13 in 1970.
I didn't think I looked that old, Diana. Okay.
Well, for me, the day job is mainframes. I still work with mainframes. So, I mean, IBM still sells those for a shitload of money, you know? So they...
Yeah, okay. Oh, the Trash 80. Oh, my word. Yes,
wow.
I worked on a few of those.
Yeah, and they still use in a lot of the systems out there, COBOL, Fortran, you know, there's a really obscure programming language that I would think maybe Randolph would know called Rex. I don't know if he knows.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I knew some people who programmed in it.
Yep,
I never used it, but I heard of it vaguely.
An old language I don't know. Oh my word!
And there's one company I worked at. They had an old accounting software system, all text based, that was written in Rex.
Yep, that's pretty much. That's primarily what everything I work with is like financial systems. So
yeah,
and shipping and receiving and stuff like that. But
yeah.
But I don't have to have my hands in the guts of the programming anymore. I'm just the boss now. So
I learned to program with punch cards.
I do programming for fun.
Yeah,
and sometimes
we had a teacher who taught us how to use punch cards, even though it was way beyond what we had.
Punch cards, yeah.
Yeah, And and you were screwed if you dropped those punch cards.
Oh boy, were you? Yeah.
Can I ask
My
two
mom brought the
questions,
throwaways
please?
home for me, and my brother took
Okay,
them on.
Stool's trying to be polite. He's got a question.
Oh, sorry.
I am trying to be polite today, Purple.
I know, I've been doing it all night.
I'm being a very good boy tonight.
Mhm.
Can I ask you a question, please, Utah?
Yeah, what's up?
Your audio is absolutely fucking splendid.
Well, thank you.
It's
Hands where I can
absolutely
see them.
I'm surprised to hear that.
fucking brilliant.
I spend more time than most people probably would making sure it sounds good.
I know, I can tell. I can tell that
My husband's
you put
the
a
same
lot of
person,
effort
boy.
into it. So, two questions.
Yeah.
Firstly, as you're talking now, are you running this through hardware or software? Are you
Everything before it comes into the computer is hardware. So,
Okay.
and I don't have a ton of stuff, but I've got a mixer with a pretty good EQ, and I've got a couple of effects that I add to it. Nothing to bass boost or anything like that. But
I
it's
can't
just
see you. The screen's a bit away from me, so I can't see your mic if it's in shot. But
I have it right.
I think I can guess what mic
There.
you're using. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I was right. And secondly, Purple, can you kick him out, please? Because I don't like him. He's way too fucking sexy. His audio is superb, and this.
Does that mean you're finished with your other hand still?
So what you're saying is you object to there being any quality on my channel.
Just throws a bunch of like singles.
That's it.
Get out of
That's
here.
it perfectly.
Yeah, I needed to make sure that the sound comes through well because I've got an air conditioning unit probably about 5 feet this way, and so that's with tons of ambient room noise too. And I've also I've got foam panels and everything else too. So I've got compressors set up.
Without me getting
Well, I
too
can't hear the
nerdy.
damn thing, so I guess you're
getting it right.
Yeah, I got good filters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Without me getting too nerdy, most of your stuff is hardware rather than software. So you've got a noise gate that's doing stuff.
Yep.
Software, is your noise gate software or hardware?
Let's see. On here, no, it's all coming through in hardware because I don't have this running through OBS or anything. So I usually have stuff set up in there. But I've also got a whole suite of EQ stuff that I run in Reaper, is the audio software that I use.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got a whole suite of things that run and processes the audio for the podcast every time I get done doing that stuff. So,
Oh, so you're not... Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
I have a question
So-
for X.
I make sure to
I've not finished.
normalize, make sure to get rid of hisses, make sure I get rid of,
I've not finished, so you
sorry.
shut up. Not you. I like you now, bald man. So you're talking in post-production, you use Reaper to...
Yep.
Yeah.
to make it sound
Okay.
better. Yep.
But in a live situation, you're kind of using hardware.
For the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Are you fucking done now?
Yeah, and I'm not wanking.
Okay. No, I have a question for X. Have you been to the Evermore theme park in Utah, and is it worth it?
I got invited to go there when they were setting it up. So we were there. I was there as press and they had an open bar. So yeah, I've been there once, but this was before they had most of it built. So I haven't been there since their grand opening, but every time we have Comic-Con here, they have a huge turnout for it. And a lot of people say it's a great place to go visit. So
Yeah, because it would take it would take a shit long car drive to get there. You know, I'm in Louisiana, but
oh yeah, that's a long
yeah.
drive.
yeah. But I was thinking about flying out there, but my husband's like, "Why are we going to go to Utah? Oh God, there's Mormons out there." I'm like, "Yeah, and I want to go to the theme park." And then I told him the theme park's D&D. He was like, and his ears pricked up like D&D. You know, I'm like, "Yeah, exactly."
Well, and at Christmas time they do what the hell do they do? It's like
Oriole or something themed.
it's themed basically like Christmas Carol themed.
Yeah.
What is it? The author, god damn it, I can't remember his name.
Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So they do that. They also have a Halloween thing where they have like animatronic stuff that they brought in for Halloween as well. But
it's just such a long way. Even if we like, take a plane or whatever and like rent a car and all that BS, is it worth it?
I don't know for that long of a trip, but you're only about 5 hours away by driving to Vegas. I mean,
Vegas, baby. Yeah, that's my kind of town.
come to Utah and visit a couple of things, then fuck off to a place that's for adults.
Right, let's see. Don't sit Yeah. See, Vegas is my kind of town. I'll go gambling. Yeah, I'm good.
Well, you've got places right alongside the border of Nevada as well. Like you don't have to go all the way down to Las Vegas. We have a town called Wendover, and it's the town where they flew the Enola Gay from. So, anybody wondering, if you guys don't know what that is, that's where the nuclear bombs came out of. So,
yeah, and I remember watching the thing on, was it some of the weren't random cable show. They had a whole little thing on it,
So it's like right before you get to this town, you could take a right off the freeway and go out to the Salt Flats if you wanted to go visit those, which is it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or you can go into a cheap ass imitation of Vegas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Enola Gay was the name of the airplane that dropped the bomb. Secondly, if you want the other four of us to go out and leave you two alone, we're fine with that. We'll just keep quiet.
Well, you can leave if you want to. No one's stopping you. You've already finished. We always do this with stool.
You know how I work. You know how my brain works. But carry on with your love fest.
Actually, we're still working on if, not how.
Fine. There you are. I will shut the fuck up and you can talk.
I'm just having a little bit of a fucking hard on because I love Utah's voice.
Too much information.
Awesome.
Did you leave?
Too much information.
Shut everything down.
Yeah. How does he do it? It's amazing.
Yeah, I got a lot to learn on that stuff.
Randolph, what are the three kanji after your name?
Those aren't kanji; those are Chinese characters. They are my Chinese name. So the first character is Zhang, which is the family name I took from my wife, and because I don't have a Chinese family name normally, and Wen Dao are the next two characters, which sound very similar to Randolph. I'm pronouncing in Mandarin. And the word one, the one in the middle is it means writing basically, and Dao means philosophy. So I do take an interest in these kinds of topics. So I need to read more than I do, though. But
yeah, I was just wondering because like reading, I know Japanese, and so like reading the last two, it's like Father Street. That doesn't seem right to me.
Not at all. No, Chinese. This is Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they borrowed, but they use the different
Japanese. The Japanese like to say they borrow, but they used to be Chinese, so that's why they have so much Chinese character in their language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one is kunyomi, one is onyomi as well. So
they've gradually drifted away because
of their own pronunciation of things. Yeah. But I could still look at a Chinese menu and be like, okay, fried beef, fried chicken. Like I know what
in Japanese.
What's that?
Are you fluent in Japanese?
Fluent-ish, like 3 years of college Japanese, and I keep studying on my own. So yeah,
good for you.
I do all right.
That's excellent.
I can get around. I don't have to be a person that can't read road signs or can't read actually what the food is. And I'm working on getting some books to read in Japanese so I can work on it that way because.
Or you could just get newspapers.
My weak point is speaking. Because I do a lot of reading and I do a lot of listening, but like speaking myself, I don't have a lot of practice in that. So
see, with Chinese, because there's over 700 dialects, the dialect is a spoken form. It's not an accent. Its actual words are pronounced very differently. It's a completely different spoken language, but the writing is the same across all of China. So if two people don't speak common dialects, they can write things down and still communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
which is actually kind of cool thing about spoken dialects in the language.
Yeah,
I find it all fascinating.
I do think one of the things that slowed China down as far as being a technology leader has been the language. Have you ever seen a Chinese typewriter? It comes with a stack of interchangeable keyboards.
No, I
That's
can't
not
say
a
I have.
joke, seriously.
No, I can't say I have, but I would love to see that.
Yeah, for them to type legal documents in Chinese, they
those are
have
not-
like
those
20 extra keyboards.
Those are not commonly used.
Okay, well, I've seen them, but
Yeah, no, all in the computer stuff, it's pretty straightforward. I have Chinese clients who are in the legal industry and whatnot. They're just using normal keyboards with software that they can enter strokes, and there's all kinds of different data entry systems that they can use. So each person has a different preference, and the software accommodates it. So
yeah, all I have to do is Alt Shift, and I can go into Japanese.
Oh, it's more than that, but yeah.
I thought when they all went to school, they were taught like the pinyin or whatever it is. Like they were taught like the Romanized.
Okay. Yeah, pinyin romanization is the current standard. It is quite a good one. There were some others before, and you'll see people who moved here a long time ago are on the older system for the romanization. So like there's the Wade system, the Yale system, and then there's others. But the pinyin system is the standard one that the Chinese government uses and Taiwan uses, and other countries are also standardized on when they do Chinese. So the only one exception to that would be Hong Kong, because they're mostly using the Cantonese dialect. But that changed since 1997, and officials all were mandated to learn Mandarin, so they did. They knew it was coming beforehand.
It must be terribly hard though on the keyboard and everything. If you know, I mean, do they even have? So what, Purple? You were saying they have like the actual characters on the keys, or?
No, that'd be a gigantic keyboard.
Well, you said it was like interchangeable. I'm like, my God, like, do they even?
There's,
like, you know.
Well, no. There's over 8,000 Chinese characters. I have a Chinese dictionary, so you're not going to have a 8,000 key keyboard. So what they do is they'll take what are called radicals, or the key parts of the characters, and then they'll combine them, and then the computer will present a number of options, and then they'll pick the right option. So they just get used to typing that way. That's one method. There are other methods as well.
Yeah, that would be super slow though.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because for us, how many keystrokes do we have to type in a whole word? Like I type 140 words a minute, and I can type out words pretty quick. Okay. So I have like to type in one word here, we got maybe 10 characters to type, 5 characters to type, depending on which word it is. In Chinese, each character is representing one word. So they may do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keystrokes to type in that whole character. So they can really, depending on the entry system they're using, some of them are a little more elaborate, they can actually get a pretty good speed out of it too.
And there's a lot of almost T9, like the way T9 texting used to be, where you type in a certain amount and it auto goes to the point where, like, okay, you're trying to say this, you know, and you just have to hit enter, and it'll bring up usually what you're trying to type up. So
I misunderstood.
That kind of thing too.
Yeah, I misunderstood. See, like I'm not as good as I used to be. Like I used to be like, you know, 50, 60 words a minute. Now I'm just like 31, you know. I'm out of practice. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. As long as you can type without looking at the keys, you're way ahead of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's most
she becomes crazy fish lady when she gets a few more fish.
Where is your cat anyway?
Oh, Sylvia, oh, there you are. She's in the cat bed just off to the right of my desk.
Not in the mood to make an appearance. Okay.
Yeah, she's there with her kitten. I saw a stuffed kitten on Amazon for about $10, and I have to get this for Sylvia. And she warmed up, and she snuggles in the cat bed with the little kitten and the whole thing like this, and it's pretty nice, sweet. Actually.
That is sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was worth the $10. You know, what can I tell you?
Yeah.
Does that mean that Dick can come in now? Stu's gone.
Yeah, he might be back. He sometimes drops out like that.
Did we go too long talking about something else you didn't like?
No, that's just him. He likes to stir the pot. It's all fun.
I'm giving somebody else want to pop in. Got an extra.
Yeah, I'm going to bow out here in a couple of minutes myself because I got to be up in like 6 hours to take kids to school. So I've got a couple more minutes to see if anybody else wants to come in.
I'm doing paperwork and I'm determined to get this stack of it done before I go to sleep. So I'll be up for a while.
For people that want to see a good example of like different dialects in China. There's a guy that has a channel on YouTube called Xiaoma.
Yes, Xiaoma.
I know the
Xiaoma.
channel.
I
Yes,
love
He's
Xiaoma.
fun to watch because he's
Yes.
trying to learn like 4 different dialects.
Yeah,
and
like
so,
his Fuhanese thing is so great when he's trying to do that. I love
Yep.
Xiaoma.
That's kind
I'm
of. He only has
trying
to
to
learn the writing once.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember the name of the dialect. That's a not often spoken dialect.
There are lots of them. There's over
The name
700.
begins with an F.
Fuhanese.
Fukanese, probably. It's used in Taiwan.
Okay.
Because mostly in Taiwan they're speaking Mandarin, but most Taiwanese people also know Fukanese.
Yeah.
Move.
I thought it was Fuhan. Is it Fukanese? I thought it was Fuhanese. It was Fukanese.
But there's different ways people say it.
Oh.
Remember, there's over 700 dialects. There's about 53 dialects that are commonly used, and the rest are kind of rare. Like there's a dialect in Shanghai. There's a dialect. There's the Hong Kong Cantonese, and then there's the China mainland Cantonese. They have some differences, but they're mostly the same.
Yeah.
I got so excited then.
And
I
then-
accidentally kicked myself out. And
There you
Randall,
go. And then I take it there's a dialect that's spoken only on the 700 block of Chong Street in.
Actually, that's a good point because there's a lot of small villages and towns where there is a local dialect that just doesn't spread out, and they have actually written message history where there's that people have been literate in China for thousands of years, longer than we have in our societies. And even Christopher Hitchens touched on this one time when he was talking about how why present all this stuff to illiterate people in the desert instead of presenting to the Chinese who can read and write just fine, and the choices they make is absurd.
I know.
But yeah, so these dialects there's so many of them, and it's quite interesting. A lot of them are dying off, unfortunately, but the world evolves. We see similar thing happen with the game Mahjong, and I'm not talking about the tile matching game, which is correctly
real.
The correct name for that one is Taipei, but most of them are just calling it Mahjong by mistake. The actual game Mahjong, you have 144 tiles and you have 4 players and you're each moving around in your rounds, and it doesn't look at all like the tile matching game. This is a fascinating game to learn, and there are different variants of it. There's the Hong Kong one, which is the most popular one in all of China. There's also the Taiwanese one where they hold, I think, 3 more tiles in their hand. Shanghai has a variant where people have a wild card they keep in their mind, and so everyone has the same advantage, and you can use it to win. So there's different variations of this as well. The Japanese have one as well, which a lot of the Chinese think is kind of broken, but there's some animosity might be part of the reason.
There's a bit
I was going to say, the
there's an American
Japanese
Mahjong.
thinks the other is broken. Yeah.
And there's even an American Mahjong, which everybody just kind of laughs at and says, what?
Yeah, it's like me. I speak just northern Tokyo Japanese, but if I went to like the Kansai region, I would have a hard time understanding people. Going to Okinawa, I would have a hard time understanding people. All the way up in like up in Hokkaido, they speak different dialect there as well. So it's just like
also there's actual different dialects, not just different accents there.
Oh yeah, really different dialects. Like where it's almost like somebody that learned English from a UK professor coming to like the deep south and trying to understand people like Boomhauer,
Yeah, but that's just accents. That's not different.
It's accents, but it's also slur words that you have where people just kind of like mealy mouth say things, and it's not just dialect, but it's also concatenation of words, putting them together smaller and stuff.
I
So
need to point out something very important here. When Randolph says dialect, I hear Dalek. I think that's kind of funky. Secondly, you're talking about the Hitchens. Okay, I'm British, and if you're not aware of this, it might be klaxon time. His brother is an absolute. Purple? Can I use the C word, please?
Yeah, there was a disclaimer at the beginning.
When it comes to his brother, yeah.
Hitchens'
I have no
brother
love for Peter Hitchens. No,
is an absolute fucking cunt.
Yeah, I don't like him. He had a grand opportunity to follow in his brother's footsteps, but then he pushed religion. There went his
He's-
opportunity.
Gross.
Did he really have to follow in his footsteps? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
No, for him it's not. He's got the ability to speak eloquently too. It seems to be natural for both of them. Their upbringing probably had a lot to do with it, but they were both kind of quite good at putting words together. But Christopher Hitchens also did something that Peter doesn't do. He does comedy, and that makes his presentations a lot more interesting. I find Peter Hitchens is quite dull and dry and boring, and in general,
Positively English.
sure, but he doesn't have
But
that
no wit. That's the
comedy.
problem.
He was
Doesn't have
trending
the
on.
essence of comedy in there, so he just doesn't.
He was trending on UK Twitter today
Was he?
because
Was
he was on one of our really shitty TV programs, and he's an absolute arse. He really is.
Mm.
I think the old-fashioned word would be a contrarian.
Yeah.
I'd call him a cunt.
Catch you next Tuesday.
Just a different C word. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it means something else when someone with that accent says it compared to me, you know.
He's teaching the young people to not wear face masks and
Oh, is that what the CU ending was doing?
all that kind of nonsense. He's not a good person.
Well, I saw him on a, and I know I'm not supposed to watch it because Mama Atheist will kick my ass, but on Sky News the other day, he was on the, the press review thing, and everything out of his mouth was just like, I am a cunt, and I'm reading the news,
He's a massive cunt, he really is.
And I don't use that word lightly as a female, but it is reserved for a few people,
I'm British. I'm allowed to use that word, but he's a massive cunt.
So am I.
He's a tit. He really is.
He's a Burke.
I don't care for him. I'm not going to call him names, but I don't care for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about him to talk about him, so
consider yourself lucky.
Just reserve judgment, X.
No, that's fine. I have to know about a whole bunch of other shitty people. So
just know that he's not a nice man, and we'll leave it at that.
He's not a nice man at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Matt Powell, one of my favorite guys to go after, put out a video.
Still going after him? Because I
had a video recently about the whole soft tissue that they found in the dinosaur.
No, not that again.
Yeah, and he's such a duplicitous asshole that he's removing comments that pop up like that try to explain it.
Yeah, he's no.
You're left with the echo chamber of people that are like, "Oh, you're so right, you're so right," and he's like, "All you evolutionists are just wrong," and it's just like, I love how you don't know any of the science yet you're going to prove all the science wrong by reading. And he's like, "It's a paper, it's a scientific study in a paper," and I'm like, did you put a link for that anywhere? I didn't see one. So
if there were ever a case for forced sterilization, that's all I'm going to say.
Too late. He's already bred.
I know.
There
And I'm
you
so
go.
sorry for that child.
Is Matt
I asked
Powell,
them.
is he still a thing?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I asked them questions like, "Oh, what's?"
I'm just never going to leave him alone.
Oh, I asked them to define what they mean.
Decided
by
to call me a gay slur, and I was just like, okay, well, let's have fun with this, shall we? You know,
I asked them to define the word evolutionist. I always try to play a game where I act like I've never heard that word before. and some of them get really mad when you do that. It's funny.
And
everybody knows that word.
My favorite game with the creationists like him is like, okay, prove you're God without citing your book.
I remember, yeah, no kidding. I remember Matt talking about video games being bad, and he was citing some study about it. And what they did on the study, it's a real study. They, long time ago, the first one, they would look into what happened with this, trying to prove if video games make people violent and hostile and all this. And so they gave them this test, and they determined, and it was a fairly well done study, but it had a flaw. But the result was accurately reported, and pretty much everybody who played the game became very angry and hostile and almost lashed out violently. They're frustrated, right? So later on CBC Radio, they were reporting on this a few years ago. Someone had looked into that study, and then they figured out what the flaw was with it. The game itself that was used in the test sucked. And the character didn't respond properly. And then the controllers were horrible, and they were not working properly. Yeah, that would make any gamer really furious. Exactly. Anyway, they redid the test with proper controls and a game that doesn't lag or any of that nonsense, and they found, unsurprisingly, that it doesn't make people violent and hostile.
Yeah, the frustration was with the interface, not with the game itself. So.
Using outdated research, not current research.
Of course, because he found the one cherry-picked piece of evidence that proves his side, as compared to the 50 other papers that somebody else wrote. You know,
yeah. Oh,
don't start as "Hi, my name is Dr. Kent Hovind." You know, when you're going for your doctorate. You know,
God, I love the response of every kid, every teenager I've asked when I've told them about this study, and they're immediately like, "Oh yeah, the controls would make me pretty hostile if they weren't working right."
Like going back and playing Mega Man 1 after you played all the other ones. You're like, fuck, this game does not control. I can't play this.
I was remembering when you said that it's about him doing his thesis. Hi, I'm Ken Hovind. This is my thesis. You know, it's like, oh, no.
Yeah, it was like a elementary school report or something.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Ken. Love me. Someone please love me.
If he had a THD, nobody'd be questioning that, but he has a PhD, so of course he's going to attract attention. And it's funny, some Christians tell me that's a great thing to have, and others tell me, oh, that's a fraud.
Well, look at what happened to sorry to interrupt you, but look what happened to Homeboy, what was it, Ted Haggard, when all that shit came out. Like, he went to go get a job, but he had no skills, he had nothing. Like, he had a theological degree. Like, he couldn't even get a job as a freaking bus driver. Like, he was fucked.
Well, it's good to hear that public transit has standards.
Love it.
You guys saw the news item that somebody came out with today about the Metro Transit Authority in New York City. Like, apparently there was they called it in the article a man cave that had like a TV, some booze, and like a couch. People were taking naps in this room. And most everybody that commented on is like, yeah, it's called a break room, you assholes. Like, yeah, you could take a nap on your break. Hey, how about that? You know, having well-rested drivers. How about stuff like that? And everybody's like, Jesus Christ, your guys' country is the worst, America. What are you doing?
Shock horror, you know.
That made me laugh.
Yeah, but I ended up watching like the HBO documentary they did on Ted Haggard after everything broke. I think it was by the same ones that did Jesus Camp, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh darn, where is that? Yeah, there's this is actually originally a picture. There's a reporter in there, but I went and stuck Trump's face on there, and I also updated his reflection to make sure it looks real.
It's the attention to detail that matters.
Oh yeah, a lot of time people forget the reflection, right? So then you know it's faked. And so there was somebody had posted.
I'm fucking dying.
The reason I made this was because somebody on Twitter started this campaign on Trump's birthday. They had announced it a few days in advance that on Trump's birthday, let's all show pictures of Obama. So I made up a bunch of these memes, and people were posting them on Trump on his birthday. Pictures of Obama saying happy birthday. To try to get to him. So, but if you look up Blarg, BLAARG, in Google image search, you'll see the weirdest images. It's just.
I don't think I want to. Last time someone told me to look something up, I'm like, no, you good.
They're not bad. They're just weird. You have people with their eyes looking different directions. It's just bizarre.
It took me like 4 months to like have the courage to type MILF into Google.
Oh no, that one's going to get you into trouble. Yeah.
And I was like, oh god, no.
Yeah, that one will definitely get you into trouble.
Yeah, mine popped up with the Super Mario Brothers character.
Happy birthday, Trump. Enjoy your hangover at the golf course tomorrow morning. Blarg. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about bus drivers.
Oh, you're mentioning Subway, so I looked this up, and here it is in my meme collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got about 36,000 pictures in my meme collection. I like to bring them up in these chats. It's fun.
But you see, before I knew it was actually pronounced meme, I thought it was Mimi.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
Me
but
too.
the only reference I had was like my grandma Mimi. You know, well, my husband's grandmother. You know, I'm like, it's Mimi, memes, Mimi's.
Yeah, meme too. Yeah.
It's meme. I'm like, but English.
You know, it's funny. So many of these Christians are into making memes, and Muslims too, and none of them seem to realize it was. I think it was Richard Dawkins who brought that into popularity. Yeah.
So they say, yeah.
Selfish. What was it? In the Selfish Gene, or was it the?
Or was it the God Delusion?
Or was it God Delusion that he brought up memes?
No, I think it was God Delusion.
People just they don't get it, right? So
Yeah.
that's okay.
I don't know. Like, I love Richard Dawkins, I do, but then sometimes I feel like he's super militant.
I like Richard Dawkins if he sticks to what he knows.
Yeah.
When he starts talking about social issues, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Like, aren't you like a zoologist? You know.
He is. He is in the anti-theist camp.
Mm-hmm.
So he does take a position against the existence of a deity. He
And I'm not just in that. I'm an atheist. You know, like.
Yeah, me too. I just don't believe. I don't hold that position for or against them. I just don't believe in them.
No, we've been told it was the selfish gene by the chat.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Thanks, Cleffargle Smash. Interesting. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to pronounce that one.
Oh, native atheist.
Kofifi, isn't it? Kofifi? It starts with a C. Kofifi.
Well, folks, it's 1:30 where I live. I'm going to go to bed. I got to be up in half hours.
Oh, you're an hour ahead of me. Huh?
Great to see you.
Yeah, it's good seeing you guys. I won't be a stranger. I'm trying to get out to do more of these things now that I've got everything set up the way I like it to be. So should be good to go. Need to show up for other things. Come check me out on Saturday. We're going to be doing a live stream at 9 Mountain. So that's GMT -6 if you need to know that one. So
Okay, sweet. I'll be there. I think that's 10 o'clock for me. I think I'm central. Is it?
Tag me on Twitter and I'll.
Central is hour ahead. British Columbia is hour behind.
Okay.
So
yeah, but we've got the coast.
I'll put a reminder on.
I've been meaning to come back up to Canada. I visited Surrey there a long time ago, so I want to.
Hey, next time you know Neil 604 Atheist.
Yeah.
Next time you come, we'll even greet you at the airport and we'll take you for a bite to eat and stuff. Just let us know in advance.
He didn't give me that. He didn't give me that option.
It'll be a while before they'll.
Everybody's got that option.
He told me to stay with a plane from Trump.
Utah Outcast is going to make its grand debut at the American Atheist Con this upcoming Easter, and we were supposed to be there for the one this year, but they, of course, got canceled.
I really, really hope that it.
Fingers crossed we can be there for the 2021 one.
Where is it next year?
Well, I don't know that there's going to be anything. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be anything going on in 2021. Really, I'm serious here. I'm not being.
No. I completely agree. That's we got 8 months to get our shit in order, and it's probably not even enough time to get the curve down. So
well, that too, and then the other thing. I mean, completely seriously, and I was amazed when I saw somebody else who has more credibility than I do say this. I'm expecting us to have problems with the virus until 2025. I mean, I am really thinking.
Well, I had longer than that, but I don't want to say because
I think it all depends on widespread availability of the vaccine. Once it's widely available, then I think it won't be a problem anymore. So, for the most part.
Yeah, I'm seeing some promising stuff that they may have a usable vaccine by next spring, but that still leaves a question of how long to manufacture and distribute it to the general public.
Yep, and without giving people stuff to give them too much hope, they've found that a lot of the kids that are not getting infected, they're tying it mainly to the MMR vaccine that they get.
Oh, really?
And it's been very helpful for keeping kids' viral load down whenever they get COVID. And so using that, and Johnson & Johnson is the one that puts that one out there. They're ready to move to stage 3 of their trials, and theirs don't have to be kept at like -60 centigrade. They have room temperature vaccine, which is going to be one of the most important things.
Wow.
So,
Does that count for people who already had it? Like,
Say what?
Does that count for people who already had MMR? Because I had that shot when I was
it probably does you well to have something like that. I'm not saying to anybody out there, go get a shot. It's going to be a panacea that helps you or anything. I'm just saying when it comes to kids, that's one thing that they've seen is that once they have the, oh God, I forgot the word for the defensive cells. It's not prokaryote, it's not eukaryote, it's cytic shit. I can't remember the name of it, but they cytokines, I think is what it is. And it's antibodies in your body. So they have a pretty good health system when it comes to beating off MMR, because apparently it's multiple, that are attacking you at the same time. So it makes your immune system a little bit more robust, I guess. So
okay then. Oh, and enter
difference between UTC and GMT?
Effectively none.
None. Yeah.
You when you announce your videos, feel free to tag me or send me a private message. I'll be happy to share it around too.
Oh, for sure. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna bow out though. Have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
Good night. Great to see you again.
Yep. We'll talk to you later.
Moo.
Dick Dawson's still awake.
Yeah, Dick, you still awake?
He hasn't made a comment in a while, so I think he went to bed.
Dick, are you still up?
Oh. Yeah, left ankle might find that interesting.
0330.
Well, I'm in the past. It's 2:34 for me.
It's 0034 here.
Mm-hmm. So you're Pacific time?
Yeah.
So they just say that in Canada, or they do the same, or do they have different?
Oh, sometimes we call it preferred time.
Yeah, preferably at 10.
P for Pacific or preferred.
It's like, there's people that say they can't say Pacific or specific the other way. They're like, specifically. I specifically or specifically told you specifically. I'm like, oh my God.
Like the children trying to stay spaghetti in the city. Sketty. Yeah.
Or Piscetti, yeah. Skitty or Piscetti. Oh, that was good to have X in there. That boosts the numbers. Someone needs to put that up later that he was on.
I do hope you can find a way to Canada if you really do want to get here. That'll be good.
Yeah, but actually, no, I would actually like to come up because also there's a Six Flags up there.
I think that's back east. I'm on the west coast, so.
Yeah, but I would like to come up there though, honestly though, because I've got to go and see they're practically my children. With my girlfriend, I live in Manitoba. When she was in New Zealand, she went to South Korea to work as a nurse, and she met a guy from New Zealand, and it was like a whirlwind, thing. And then she had gotten pregnant. They went back to Canada. Well, he followed her there. She had a baby, and then they decided they wanted to come to New Zealand for a while, and then they had another baby there. And then I ended up being the babysitter because I was the only person that, that they knew. I mean, they were pretty little girls, but they were a freaking handful.
So if you're ever coming to BC, just let me know.
Yeah. Is Manitoba BC or is it Ottawa?
We love tourists. We love everybody here.
Wait, is Manitoba BC or Ottawa? Or I can't remember.
No. Manitoba's a province. BC is the westmost province.
Yeah.
Ontario and Quebec are more at the east end of Canada. So.
Because I do. Yeah, I have told my husband, like straight up and down, I want to go to like Quebec at Christmas at some point because it's cheaper than Paris, and you're taking me, motherfucker.
It's beautiful there. That'll be beautiful going there. But make sure you have. Proper boots for in the snow. They'll keep your feet warm because your feet will get real cold.
I have some steel toe ones I used to work down at the port with. They're pretty warm.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's important.
I definitely need to drive up to Canada at some point.
Yeah.
I saw Doorknob Head's comment there. He's spelling my name the same way Bad Tempered Badger likes to misspell my name. It's hilarious.
Two ifs?
Oh, Bad Tempered Badger has been mangling my name and having a lot of fun doing it. Yeah.
Oh, Rich.
Rich Dolph
Right.
Randerson and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
Did your parents call you Randy or Randall or just Randolph?
I'm Randolph. My name's Randolph.
It's always you never had like a nickname or a short name.
Oh, people do nicknames and stuff, but my correct name is Randolph.
Yeah. Well, your preferred name. Yeah.
It's my legal name.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, do you prefer to be called just Randolph, or do you prefer like?
Yeah, I prefer to be called by my name. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's just like some people.
Some people prefer shortened form.
Shortened form is what I'm asking.
Not me. I'm not into that. I think if people want to be called by shortened form, that's how they should present it. It's I go by what people present themselves as best I can. It's just easier that way. Otherwise, you got to remember all this stuff, and this person likes it, and this person doesn't, and it just drives you up the wall.
Because I'm heavily considering changing my name, but I don't know how it's going to go down. You know?
Oh.
Yeah. Because when you
mind saying what you want to change it to, or
I have a very long but shortened list, but I really don't want to say right now because I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit. But I have been thinking of a Chinese name as well, but I kind of backtracked on that. Mostly because I didn't want people to butcher it. Yeah.
Well, I guess you wanted to get. Have you been having problems with your current name?
No, but to be honest with you, I never liked it at all.
Okay.
I've never felt connected to it. I hate it.
See, I'm guessing the process will be similar there. Here in Canada, if somebody wants to change their name, they need to apply to the government, and they need to publish it in one government publication that the government specifies. It's called the Gazette. And then they need to publish it in a local newspaper as well. And normally the government will approve the name changes. Like they've rejected a couple where somebody wanted to change it to the F word or something.
Yeah. Well, actually, I get a pass card down here the other side of the border because when I do my citizenship, on Citizenship Day, I can change my name legally.
Yeah. And then and what happens here is they'll issue new birth certificates and everything.
Yeah.
And so, a new marriage certificate, new other kind of IDs that the government issues, they'll give you all new ones, and it won't cost anything. I don't know how it works in the States, but I'm assuming it's a similar.
Oh wow! Lucky, because it works 50 different ways in the States.
I feel bad to my parents, but at the same point in time, like they were going to call me another name because that they wanted to do the whole like honor the grandparents thing. And then my grandfather said that if they called me that name, he would cut them out of the will and they get nothing. So they just kind of threw a dart.
People do stuff like that.
No, they seriously threw a dart at the fucking wall. Like, okay, that, But, there's this whole Chinese tradition, which, I didn't know back then. Obviously I couldn't know because I was, just a baby. But of, kind of naming the kid after they're born and everything. Which, that crosses a lot of cultures. Not naming a child.
Here in Canada it varies. Depends on the individuals, but
exactly. But I just it's not me. It's not me.
I think if you're going to have a Chinese name, it would be good to at least know some Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I've been working on it. I've been trying to find my book. Like I have all the books, and I've been doing the characters. But no, the actual Chinese name was going to be a middle name.
Like Manfred von Richthofen.
Flying he was the Red Baron.
The flying.
The Chinese name was going to be a middle name, but I decided that I wouldn't make it like an official legal thing. I would just have it as a name. I wouldn't make it an official legal thing, but I wouldn't change my first name and drop my middle name.
Yeah, so you get you should be able to do that. I don't see a problem. You got to be able to present yourself freely.
It varies state to state, but I did have my legal last name changed.
Yeah, what's really interesting is I had my name changed in 2016.
Okay.
And I had the misfortune to have been born in Ohio. My birth certificate stays as is. So as far as my birth
they don't allow name changes in Ohio?
As far as the name change goes, I think you might be able to do a name change on the birth certificate if you go through enough hoops, but you certainly can't get your gender marker changed.
Yeah.
Wow.
That varies state to state.
As far as Ohio is concerned, I am a man by the name of Edwards of Ardcake. And they will
my
have it
question,
Yeah, you
my
finally
question
said it.
to
I've been
Ohio,
wanting you to say
my
what it
question,
was.
my question to Ohio is, what have they got against honesty? If people feel
Exactly.
they want to be honest with who they really are, right? Oh, and I like Compelled Unbeliever's earlier comment about he's going to change his name to Randolph Richards. Sounds like the making of a doppelganger to me.
There you go. There you
But
go.
his German name is Werner von. I can't remember pronounce the list.
That's pretty cool. That name looked pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, Ohio is one of 3 states that will not allow that change. I believe the others are Idaho and Tennessee, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a wild guess here. They're all red states?
Pretty much.
I thought
Ohio is
Ohio was
pretty
purple.
red.
I thought Ohio was
Purple?
purple.
Yeah, Ohio's
purple?
considered a swing state. It can
Yeah.
still be going either way.
Oh, purple means swing state?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Well, purple
it's the
because it's
combination
half
of
red and
and
half
blue.
Yeah,
blue.
it could go anywhere. Yeah, purple, half red, half
Like Florida.
Well,
Now,
now
Florida,
like, yeah.
Florida is basically a junkyard. I mean, really.
With alligators.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
That's
my
my
apologies
life.
to the friends I know and love who do happen to live in Florida. I would
Yeah, a
not
few
want to live
body
there.
parts floating around in the rivers, no doubt.
I mean,
No,
they
because
are-
the alligators eat those.
Oh, they don't spit any of them out?
Well, if you leave any body parts floating in the river, they'll eat them.
Wow. Wow, that sounds like a kind of an attractive destination for mass murderers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
At Louisiana, you just jump in the bayou. That body's gone.
It's an easy way to get rid of dead bodies, yeah.
Mhm. That body's gone. There'll be nothing left. Not even bone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're powerful creatures, powerful animals, that's for sure.
Yeah. But so basically, the names that I've been looking at have I've been looking for names that have a meaning of like like a clean slate, basically, or new beginnings. That's what I want. But I am like semi worried about what my sperm donor would say. Like I don't even call him a dad, to be honest, but that's another story.
Bio dad, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when he wasn't at home, he was at the bar, that kind of thing, or the track and getting.
That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But then, like my mom, like I think she would be like superficially cool, but she might be hurt. But at the same point in time, it's my life, not hers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The freedom is yours, not hers.
And I'm paying for it, exactly, And I just feel
it doesn't matter if they're paying for it or not. It's your freedom.
Mhm.
Well, it took more than 20 years to get my oldest brother to address my mail to the correct name.
What's that?
It took more than 20 years for my older brother to acknowledge that I had changed my last name.
Oh,
and that was only because the post office refused to deliver it anymore at the old apartment building because that name wasn't on the mailbox.
Oh.
Oh, they get fussy about the names, not just the address.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I've had that happen to me as well.
Especially when it's a building that's got, 30 or 50 apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're wondering, like, was this a previous resident? So then they don't want to put it in the mailbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I sent something to a YouTube friend I have, and I forgot to put her actual name she'd given me, so I put a YouTube name and address, and it got to it just fine.
Yeah, here in Canada, we're not checking on names. It's just what happens is, according to our laws, if you receive mail that's not addressed to you, you can't open it. That's a felony, a criminal offense if you do.
Yeah, it's a criminal offense down here too.
You're supposed to write return to sender on it or RTS, and you can put it back in the mail, and there's no postage fee for that.
That's pretty universal. Like it's down here in New Zealand, States,
Yeah,
Okay.
in the U.S. it's the same way.
Yeah.
So then
You're
why
just
is the
supposed
U.S.
to mark it return to sender or address the unknown and put it back in the
why
box?
is the U.S. Postal Service obsessed with names as well?
Because they're giant douchebags and they have nothing else to do all day, and that's their
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's
I had a bit
their
of a problem with that
deliver-
when I rented a
Except
post
deliver
office.
conspiracy theories to Diana in the mail.
There you go. No, I had a problem with that. When I rented a post office box some years ago, I did that because the mail was not coming to me. We used to play musical mail in the apartment buildings. You know, I would get Tom's mail, and Tom would get Laura's mail, and we'd all get together and exchange mail to the right person.
It's good for community, I guess.
Yeah, and this was prior to my changing my name. Mail would come for Edward, and mail would come for Diana, and for a while I had to leave something with them, to let them know that I was Diana, and then after a while, it was that had to come to Edward, or wasn't going to come to anyone at all. So
that's so insulting.
Yeah, and it sucks that you've got relatives. It sucks when there's relatives who refuse to respect what your name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
it'd be nice if everybody would try to get people's names right. Then we'd have a lot less problems in the world, I think.
See, this is
like you say, it's just basic respect. So if people aren't going to do that much, it just shows that they're not going to respect anything else.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I worry about, because I have like nieces and nephews that are all under the age of like 13. And I wonder, how am I going to explain it? Are they going to remember? Should I just let them call me by the old name? Like
yeah, I get that.
Like, how do I do that?
If people get my name wrong, I try to accommodate and just go along with it. I don't make a big issue of it, right? Because usually it's pretty clear they're talking to me, unless they're trying to be antagonizing, in which case I've done this in Twitter a few times when they're trying to make fun of my name, and then I'll write back, well, I don't see anybody by that name in the chat. Are you sure you posted this in the right thread?
Yeah.
And then they have to backtrack and explain that they were making fun of my name. Oh, well, that's not a very nice thing to do. Why do you do that?
I don't know. That's why Mum always said, like, pick your battles, like small or big. But whenever I see your name, I always think of that movie Death to Smoochie with Rainbow Randolph.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
You need to look up Death to Smoochie. It's like, who is it? Ed Norton and
he's a good actor.
Robin Williams. Robin Williams, they play children's entertainers, and Robin Williams' character is Rainbow Randolph.
Rainbow Randolph. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
But it's 2 F's, not one. But yeah, but it's like.
Can I look that up in Google image search? Let me see.
I think you could. But it is hilarious. I love that movie. Whenever I'm down in the dumps, I just put that on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and using the more common spelling of Randolph, I see. Yeah.
That's actually one of the few Robin Williams movies I've never seen.
You haven't? You need to watch it.
I've never seen it either, so we're in the same boat, fella.
You've got to. Please. It is hilarious. Yeah. Rich Dolph.
Oh, he's Rich Dolph Randardson. I don't have a problem with it.
I drank at the bar trying to order a deck and Daniels.
A deck of Daniels?
A deck of Daniels? Can I have a deck of and a choke?
I remember somebody on talking about Dirty Cole. He says Dirty Cole he said clean coal is a lurdy die or something like that. He mixed up the words. Instead of saying it's a dirty lie. Oh, where was that? That guy he put on a whole speech, went for a couple of minutes. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's so good. But no, you need to watch that one when you get a chance.
I've got it up on my screen. I'll see if I can find it. And
it's on. You can get it on Amazon. I don't know if they have it like for like that you can just watch it, but I purchased it for like $10 or something.
Okay.
It's worth it. Yeah. Although I love spending in Canada because my money's worth more in Canada.
Yeah, come spend it here. We'll gladly take it.
Yeah. I remember, like, I did a subscription to like Trailer Park Boys or something. I was really obsessed with them for a while.
When my wife and I first saw that, we thought it was a documentary. We thought, okay, this is interesting, and some of it reminded me of my old neighborhood. But anyway, we
realized.
Yeah, we look at this and then we start to realize, wait a sec, this guy's running around with a drink and he drinks from it, but it still stays half all the time. Okay, and then we started figuring out fairly early on that it's just satire. But wow, that show is hilarious.
It's still going, right?
Oh, it is? Okay.
They moved to Netflix, but the one who played the trailer park manager, he's
Jim
passed
Leahy.
away now.
Yeah, Jim Leahy.
He has passed away now.
I heard that, yeah, and hopefully not from drinking.
Well, no, he never touched a drop in his life. He never drank in his life, according to his interviews.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but the
what did
family
he die from?
Well, the family won't say.
Oh, okay.
So that's what made me kind of like curious. Of like, are you sure he never drank? Oh, but I mean, like, it's not up to me to know. But
you know what? No, it's. I wouldn't go that far. I think it's quite reasonable to just take him at his word on something like that.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of different reasons people die. So.
Yeah, but don't you think it's odd? Because it's like, I mean, it's one of those things that, well, I shouldn't say. Well, it is. It's a natural curiosity to be like, what happened? Oh my God, how did they die?
Yeah, yeah.
And then someone says, oh, I don't want to talk about it, and then your mind starts to tick.
Families want to keep it private, just like some families don't want Donald Trump to be at their relatives' funerals.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it's the suspicious mind being a tourist, but like my mind starts to tick. I'm like, well, why didn't you want to say it? Like, but then I'm like, but then my rational mind says, well, it's none of my business, and maybe you don't want to say, But then the other side of me, working in like justice in the courts, is like, well, why don't you want to say, So I've got like the angel and the devil,
Yeah.
Go on my shoulder, and I'm just like, well,
they have a right to privacy. Here in Canada, the privacy laws are pretty strong, and like we have these social insurance numbers which are similar to your social security numbers, but here that's private protected information. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because American corporations will sometimes ask for that, and then people here will say, oh, I'm not giving that to you. And they say you have to. Say, no, you can't. You shouldn't even be asking for it. You can ask, but we're not obligated to give it to you. That's our private info. Say, no, it's not private. And it ends up confusing them.
Yeah. And see, it's hilarious because I used to work on the Medicare Obamacare hotline.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you had to give your social security number to be able to get the insurance. They're like, I don't want to give it to you. I'm like, well, how are you going to get the insurance? Well, I don't know. Well,
see, here in Canada, there are certain government programs that are permitted to have it, but they're very limited in the number in which ones will. And your employer can have it only for the purpose of generating T4 tax return slips and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So reporting taxes, so income tax. So this is very limited what can have it, and it's quite clearly laid out in our legal system. And this is good because there was a case here a while ago with a school that was posting up people's social insurance numbers with their scores, but not their names. And the Privacy Commission came along and said, no, you can't do that. You have to have a different student number that can't be somehow mathematically calculated to translate over to that number. They were very specific about it. So you have to generate this separately somehow and track it separately. So then they had to change the way they do that. So,
well, that's good. Yeah.
Well, and originally in the U.S. it had been that way, but over the decades it got gradually watered down until the Social Security number has become a default federal ID number.
Oh, yeah.
And we do have, like, people can get a student number here, which is basically all the schools and whatnot can know about it. But it is a social insurance number or social security number definitely would make sense to serve that way. But it's also like with the banks, like one interesting thing here, if your bank account does not generate, if you get the kind of bank account that does not ever generate any interest, then you can open that without a social insurance number here. But most of the people in the banks don't understand that. But that's how it works here. So the only reason that the bank would have your social insurance number for a regular savings account is that it generates interest, and they need to report that interest to the government for tax purposes.
Actually, that's also the case in the U.S.
Yeah, but it's
technically, if the account does not pay interest, the bank cannot require the Social Security number.
But
as you say, most of the bank employees are not aware of this.
But try and find
that's
a bank.
cool.
Try and find a bank that has a non-interest bearing account, or one that they don't want you to pay like fees out the nose for. It's just like I have to pay for privacy, basically. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
So
But see, I didn't know all of the stuff when I came here, and like it. People tell me maybe I was stupid to come here and everything, but I'm like, I moved here because I had a husband who was losing 2 pounds a week and severely depressed. So, you know, I kind of had to do something. And also, there wasn't a lot for me back home anyway, you know. And also, fuck you, it's none of your business. You know, but they're like, why would you leave and come here? And I was like, you know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But also I have to look into the bank back home because the bank I used to bank with when I was younger, apparently they're under a class action lawsuit and owe people money. So something over like dodgy bank accounts and not something to do with not reporting international transactions or something like that. So. So, you know.
I also, with what Doorknob said here, yeah, I wholly endorse using a credit union wherever you are over a bank.
No, I never will again. Absolutely not.
in Canada here, the banks are so heavily regulated because we had one bankruptcy in our history of a bank. And then after that, our government put in these very strict regulations. And there's a lot of capitalists complain bitterly about how hard it is to start a bank here. But we haven't had any banks go bankrupt ever since. And the insurance for the banks covers up to $100,000 per bank account. So if a bank does,
is $250.
Yeah, so if a bank goes out of business, then that's fine. So if you have more than $100,000, spread them across multiple accounts.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what people do here. But ours is $250,000.
Yeah, but if you're the credit union, it's full coverage for the whole balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because the credit unions are a slightly different system, but they still have to comply with Bank Act regulation. Now, the Bank Act is so strict here that when there are special situations for a bank, they'll actually draft separate legislation just for that bank to include all that. It's much more strict than a contract here. So there's the Royal Bank Act of Canada, there's the HSBC Act of Canada, in addition to the regular Bank Act that applies to all the banks. Mm-hmm. It's just quite interesting that it's structured this way.
You know, I just had a thought of a really cool series you could do, was debunking Canadian myths.
Oh.
Because, you know, there's so many myths about like so I don't know if it's true or false, but someone told me like the Mounties can't be married.
No, that's not true.
Exactly. So that would be an awesome series for you to do, because people down, you know, in other areas and down here, there's so many misconceptions about Canada.
Oh, I know. There's a bunch of people who think we live in icebergs and igloos here, and then I tell them, especially if they're in Texas. I was telling one guy on the phone years ago. I was joking about that, and he believed it. And then I said, "Oh, I'm just kidding about it." And then I told him, "Okay, I'll tell him some more just for fun and say, you know, we can actually light fires inside the igloo, which is cut the top open, all the heat goes out, and it doesn't melt it." And then he said he didn't believe that, but that's actually true.
But no, that would be an awesome series. I mean, like when I was looking up this satire artist under Canada, he had polar bears and snow. And Celine Dion. That was it.
Sorry, what was the first one?
He said polar bears, snow, and Celine Dion.
Oh, yeah. And people think we have penguins up here, too.
But no, that would be, I mean, it'd be an awesome series to do, you know.
They said, I've heard people say that if there weren't penguins up here, the polar bears would starve. Because socialists won't feed the polar bears. They fish, you idiots.
I miss
eat people once in a while.
I miss socialism. Yeah.
Oh, I know. They say we're socialist, and they it's funny. The ones who are complaining about that are the ones who conflate socialism with communism, and it's just, to me, that just never made sense. Like,
no, but no, because communism is the ultimate goal, but it never actually gets there, because communism is supposed to be utopia at the end of it, and you never get it because nobody agrees on anything. You know?
Well, and also that's a good point. And the other thing is, like, there's supposed to be no classes, but you've got the ruling class every time, so you can't get away from that.
I know, because everyone, regardless of what you do, everyone's supposed to be paid the same. Doctor, teacher, whatever you are, you're supposed to be, have the same salary.
It's like that part of it, I think, is like giving a big middle finger to capitalism in a way.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be. But my double majors for my degree were political science and international relations. So.
Cool.
Yeah, and my
well, you're doing well in the relations part, because I feel like, that would be a cool series to do.
Exactly.
I just need a list of all these different misconceptions, because
I would gladly send you a list.
Okay.
Like, I have compiled so much, and it works for most Commonwealth countries.
Yeah.
They think we're Bolsheviks.
Really?
But to summarize,
please send me the list, because I'll look into doing that. That would be a great series to do.
I would love it.
I'd have fun doing that, and happily link to your channel from the all to say, hey, thanks for the idea.
Exactly.
Be delighted to do that. Yeah,
I'm everybody's
I'll definitely give
muse.
you credit for that for sure.
Yeah, I'm everybody's muse, but I have no ideas of my own almost. But I have the camera set up, and I try to get the nerve up to start the series that I had proposed on crimes committed by the religious.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the stuff I've got is either really, really flat, like it's been done before, or it's so obscure that no one would be interested, like local crimes.
Well, that's okay. You know what? I think there's market for that stuff nowadays.
Well, actually, I would say do both and interspace them.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah,
because even the stuff that has been done 100 times before, putting your own slant on it.
Yeah, it's your own style.
Also,
right?
there's always new people coming to YouTube that haven't seen it before.
That's true too. Because the local Pentecostal church, the town over, which we never go to anymore because there's no reason to go out there after my husband's granddad died, the minister out there got done for tax evasion and also not declaring his church wages. So, and he was drawing Social Security as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I'd seriously be interested in such a list. That would be fun to do. Like the one you mentioned about the Mounties. That's fantastic. They can't get married? What?
Yeah.
I will do some research and find out if that ever was the case, because if it was, that would be interesting to cover as well.
Send me a DM on Twitter to remind me, and I will compile the list and send it to you tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. I know who you are, Lone Wanderer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do that. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be in the future taking an interest in doing more video series. There's another one I want to do where I'm just interviewing people and for serious topics, and I'm even going to have a comedian on there. We'll be talking all serious, no jokes, and everyone's going to be expecting.
That's why I sent you that thing about the cult leader. Like, I would love you to do that too, because people think that Canada is all lily white and nothing bad has ever happened there.
Oh no, we've got our share of problem people here too. It's just part of life, right? So, you see, one thing I want to get into at some point as well is talking about prison reform.
Oh,
because I'm very much on the side of favoring rehabilitation, and I think we need to really get into a better system that we're not punishing people, because this whole vengeful attitude and throwing people in jail and throw away the key attitude, we've got to get rid of that. It's not good for society.
Well, I agree with that.
These people are members. These people are members of society too. And I look at the difference between U.S. and Canada, and I see you got privatized prisons, which I think is unethical, and just laying the foundation for human rights violations left, right, and center. But because of capitalism. But there's also, I've found out that prisoners there don't have the right to vote. Here in Canada, they vote. They have the right to vote. Elections Canada makes sure they can vote.
Yeah, if you're a felon, if you're a felon, no, you don't have the right.
That's not democracy. That's because they are still citizens in society as well. And someone
or at the
wrongfully
very
convicted.
least, once they've served their sentence, they should get the right back.
Well,
That's not good enough. They should be allowed to vote while they're in prison too.
They should, but after a certain point, they do. Like my brother-in-law
It should never be withheld.
Yeah, my brother-in-law was in the wrong place, wrong time.
That's one example of why.
Yeah. He was the basically, to cut a long story short, he was the oldest in the car. Someone stole some firearms. It was a federal offense. No one else really got the big charge. He did. So he doesn't get his gun rights back until next year in I think it's July or August, but I don't think he can even vote still. But I thought that, he could get it removed. Actually, no, sorry, I tell a lie. You can get it removed from your expunged from your record if you pay $6,000.
Yeah.
It's all a money-making scheme.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a double slap in the face.
I was just looking at this comment. Compelled Unbeliever says he was a correctional officer for 15 years. Rehabilitation is just to sound good for the politicians. Yeah, when it comes from politicians, I agree. Like, what I'm talking about is actual rehabilitation, though. I'm not talking bullshit.
I think maybe, I'm going to say what I think maybe you're trying to convey, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like, when you get out of jail, that should be the fucking end of it.
Yeah.
You've done it, you've done the crime, you've done the time. But then I understand that there are certain crimes for which carry a stigma. Maybe I don't want you working the till if you were stealing out of it, or I don't want you around children if you went to jail for, something like that. But, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying.
No, I think that's right. Once the prison sentence is done, you're a normal person again. That's the way it should be. Well, with the exception of certain things, like obviously somebody who's molested children, there need to be restrictions on what kind of activities they can be involved in and who they can be around, for obvious reasons. Because the problem is the recidivism rate tends to be quite high with that group. So there's statistical things to look at too. But I think overall, the most of the system does need to be vastly improved. There's just way too much wrong with it.
It needs a massive overhaul.
Yeah.
It needs, take a look at Norway. They've got a system there which really is true rehabilitation. Now, it's not all their prisons, but it's an experimental prison. And
you go to an island. I watched that documentary.
Wow, that one is fantastic. And here I see another one. Now, this is not prison, but this is we have safe injection sites where people who are drug addicts can go and get injections safely with medical staff there. The medical staff don't preach anything. They'll say stuff like, if you want to get off of this stuff, talk to us. We can help you. In the meantime, they provide them clean needles, clean facilities and all this, and drugs that are actually clean and not filled with other who knows what toxins that you can get from the street. So what's happened is on CBC radio, our national radio station, people have, there's been over the years, politicians, mostly the right-wing Conservative Party, are vehemently against this. They say, you can't do this. You're just supporting. They want to get tough on crime all the time, which is the wrong direction.
No,
completely. They just don't get it. But they just don't care.
It's not crime.
No, but they see it is. But anyway, they're very, very bad this way. But, they're black and white thinking how it is, right? But anyway, the safe injection site, what's happened was people, yes, education, bang on, that's very important.
Yeah.
And having a good education system is an important foundation of it all, but it's not the only piece, but it's a very important one. But what happens was you have, this guy was telling his story, and he said he went to the safe injection site many, many years ago, and he was going there, it was quite a few months, maybe 6 months, he kept going to get his drugs. Finally, he said, you guys mentioned to me a number of times that I could actually get off this. I'd like to take you up on that and see if I can actually get off. And so they did that, and they worked with him on it. And he said, this turned his life around. He got off the drugs. He's never gone back. It's been years. And he's just almost in tears wanting to thank them for that. He's got a normal job. He's actually getting back into being a productive member of society and not part of that bad element anymore that he was stuck in before. And he said that from his perspective, if the safe injection site was not there, he thinks he would probably either still be an addict today or dead.
Yeah. But the whole putting him in the bad element category irks me because it's like anyone could.
Well, those are his words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because he said he's comparing what he had before was life on the street, kind of homeless, all this kind of stuff, and doing odd jobs and stuff he didn't want to do, sexual stuff, anything else.
But I hate him.
He was at a real low point in his life.
But I hate him even saying that to himself because it's a disease, you know.
No, he's not saying it's disease. He said it was a bad environment he lived in. He was living on the street, doing tricks to make money and doing crimes to make money and all this kind of stuff. That is bad stuff.
Yeah. But like
that's not a disease. That's just a bad lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, they call that's another translation thing because down in these parts and even back in New Zealand they call addiction disease.
No, here it's not a disease. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
A disease is
there's another one we can put on the list. See, we can put that on the list too for comparisons.
Yeah, there we go. Sure. Yeah. I'm up for it. So gladly do that, or we could co-host it if you want, if you're interested. Whatever you want to do. But yeah,
I feel bad for him though, being addicted to something like that.
Well, yeah, and but he was so happy to get off, and he said those people at the safe injection site. He says the only advice he could give to the government is set up more of these things because it helps people. And we also know registered nurses who like these because when the people are overdose or something, they get medical attention immediately instead of being discovered in a worse condition on the street or dead.
I have to agree with that wholeheartedly. I cannot say anything.
Yeah, it makes the whole medical profession's job easier too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then people in these environments are usually not so resistant to getting help when they need it as well.
Yeah. Well, the drug addiction has to be treated as a health issue, not a criminal issue.
And the approaches not. The approach that we're using here is, I understand it, is not saying, let's make a deal. You can do this, but you have to do this. We're just really giving them the help and then making the offer available. And then, but they're the ones that are deciding when to go in. Hey, that's the right way to do it.
Exactly.
Well, and unfortunately in the U.S., even most of the drug rehabilitation programs are run by religious organizations.
Yes, I was going to say the same damn thing. Like,
Jesus fixes everything.
No, it's like, I'm not going to.
Well, that and also, if you want us to help you, you have to join our church.
No, and you know what?
No, that's strings attached. That's no good.
And you know what, Randolph? I got into an argument outside of Home Depot, of all places, because a guy
better than Walmart.
A guy was, he was selling like crosses and things, to raise money for the rehab clinic that he was affiliated with. And I said, does it have anything to do with the religion? And he said, yes, it does. I'm like, well, I can't give you any money. I'm sorry. And he said, why? I'm like, because there shouldn't be any strings attached to you wanting help or getting clean. And he was like,
you're right. I agree with you. You're a hero.
Yeah. And he for a minute, he was like, you could see he was about to open up the big book of arguments. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, you're good. Bye. And then I walked like 10 feet down the way, and there was Boy Scouts selling like popcorn and cookies. I'm like, here you go, honey. But then I was like, maybe I should give it to you because of your leader and all.
Well, yeah, the Boy Scouts are all religiously affiliated as well.
Yeah, but they weren't asking me to force someone to get clean for Jesus, But I didn't know then what I knew now about the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
If I'd known then, I wouldn't have given them the $10, but it was just like, but I really did take him to task. And my husband was like, I'm going to the car. He had that look on his face of like, oh God, do I need bail money? I'm like, no, you don't need bail money. I got this.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, you should not be held to ransom. It's like the religious folk that go out and they preach to them and then they give them a sandwich. No, like I'm going to give you the freaking sandwich because you're hungry and you're on damn street, you know. But
yeah, a lot of those people aren't there by choice. It's just the circumstances have put them in a bad situation that makes it very, very hard for them to cope in a normal way, and it's all set against people. As homeless people have trouble finding places to use washrooms, they have no access to showers, anything like that. It's really turns into
I've been homeless myself.
Yeah, no, you said that you had purple, and that's what I love about some of the Asian countries, like Singapore, for example. Like they have free washrooms, you know, they have free bathrooms, and they have safe spaces, you know. Just
really, the single biggest issue I faced being homeless when I was trying to find work was finding a place that I could take a bath before an interview.
Yeah.
So you can actually get the job.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually didn't smell like 4 days of my own sweat going into the interview.
Yeah, like honestly, I know. Like I grew up with the Salvation Army Church, so that was one of the things that really bugged me about them, like preaching to people before they fed them. I was like, just fucking give them the damn sandwich. And to be honest with you, I was thinking this at like 8 years old. I'm just like, you know. But I was also asked to leave at 8 because I was that kid that got kicked out of Sunday school because I'm like, but why? But why? But why? You know.
Have you seen the South Park episode of Starvin' Marvin and Planet Marklar?
Yes, Starvin' Marvin. I love that episode.
And Planet Marklar, that's one of my favorites. It's so good, and the way they characterize the religious people and the televangelism and everything is just so perfectly done.
You know, Starvin' Marvin.
Yeah, and then they give the Bibles to these starving people who try to eat it. No, you have to read the Bible, then you'll get food. It's like
yes. No. Then remember they renamed them. No, Paul, we read, and then we eat food. Like they renamed what they gave them biblical names. You know.
Oh man, that was just. Oh, they got everything right in that episode. South Park usually gets Canada right too. It's interesting. They. We've never had Saddam Hussein take over here, but aside from that, they got pretty much everything else right.
Including the one where Canada went on strike?
Yeah, and including, we kind of do stuff like that here. Not the whole nation, but we get there. But yeah, and the part about Santa Claus being Canadian, they got that right too. And I have a postal code to back that up. Santa Claus's postal code here is H0H0H0, which spells ho ho ho. So, nobody's got a better argument than that for Santa being Canadian.
Well, Finland, most of it's above the Arctic Circle, and they have a lot of reindeer, so they're claiming him.
Yeah, it's Canada.
You don't actually have reindeer in Canada, so that's a problem.
Oh, they're imported.
You're not passing off caribou as reindeer.
No, I said they're imported. They immigrated. With Santa's help, of course. Yeah, I don't know. We're just having fun here.
Yeah. I think Alaska's also got a postal code for him. I think there's a post box in Alaska for Santa's workshop.
Yeah, but it's all digits. It doesn't spell ho ho ho.
Yeah.
So you guys can't win that one. Diana's listening to all our friendly banter here, and Santa debate to come soon. Yeah.
Okay, this we could actually do. We should set up a debate for what country Santa is from.
Oh, I missed it. What Santa? I missed it. I would have to go pee. What I missed?
Santa debate.
Oh, we're just arguing over what country Santa's from.
Friendly banter.
Santa is from nowhere because Santa doesn't exist. You know what I figured out? There was no Santa Claus?
Actually, I gotta tell you, I've got some real credible evidence for that. Are you familiar with NORAD, the North American Defense Network? Yeah, and they track Santa every year with
I
their
know.
big, expensive, multi-billion-dollar satellite systems and equipment. Now, if you're going to say that our North American defense system is wrong, you're going to have to back that up.
But the moment that I figured out Santa wasn't real,
Yeah.
I got up, to check like if there was presents, if taking the carrot and the cookies and everything. There was lipstick on the glass of milk, and I'm like, yeah. And also, I saw my dad jumping off the roof after he was trying to make noises on the roof, and I'm just like, no.
Wow, your parents did all that. That's
They
pretty cool.
they went to that extent.
Now, here's the
very
interesting
nice.
thing, though. You found the lipstick on the glass of milk,
Yeah.
but it was your father that was drinking it, right?
No. My aunt, my godmother came over and she had done the whole, drinking.
I'm just being a foo-foo head here.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, okay.
So one thing I find strange is that some people start making a big deal about, oh, Santa was a lie. It ruined my childhood. How could my parents do this to me? It's a critical thinking tool. We're teaching our kids that, hey, you can't always believe things. You should doubt things.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it all.
But,
And having fun and presence as well at the same time.
But it
And
kind of
encouraging
backfired on me,
imagination.
though. It kind of backfired on me, though, because I said, look, I know this shit ain't real. All I want for Christmas now, because I know it's not real, is for you to leave me the fuck alone so I can sleep in on Christmas. I know you can't afford these gifts. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Do you think I ever got that? No. Like, I asked you for something that was fucking free and I still didn't get it. I was just like, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
I found the Santa myth as a child damaging in a different way.
Oh, did your parents burn the letters?
What?
Did your parents burn the letters? Like they do in like Norway? Like
No,
you
I
write
don't.
well, in some cultures you would write your Christmas list to Santa, and they would burn them in the fire.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
the whole thing of if you're good, Santa's going to bring you presents.
Oh yeah.
But then realizing that the rich kids who were assholes still got more presents than the poor kids that were good.
Yeah, that is a problem.
He didn't specify how many gifts. They just said you would not get a gift if you were bad.
Yeah,
And then
but
the one
it
that,
really sent a bad message, I felt, to kids.
Yeah,
Because
I
it
agree.
tends
I'm
to
just being
enforce
pedantic.
the idea that your behavior really didn't matter.
Yeah, it's a part of the Santa myth my parents didn't push. So
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, I lived in a community that was like 85% Jewish.
Okay.
So most of my friends didn't get anything from Santa at all.
Oh yeah. I saw Santa on South Park trying to deliver to Iraq. Boy, that turned bad.
Oh
the
no.
one that really yogged my foo was I found out later in life that in the previous generations of my family, they had that whole Krampus thing going.
The what thing?
Krampus.
What is
Krampus?
Krampus?
Was a nasty character.
Oh yeah, is it the black-faced one?
Say again?
Is it the black-faced one that comes to the demon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stories I got was the kids would get a thorough beating before they got their presents.
Yeah.
Which was
that's stupid.
sorts of fun.
Yeah. Well, some people might be into
that was a big one in the Eastern European bloc, the Krampus.
Yep.
Yeah,
Before we
but
go
some
too
people
far
might be into BDSM with a little treat at the end. I mean,
I think I like Renee Enemy's comment before saying Santa is a Canadian cave dweller. He and his elves hide out in hollow earth until his services are due.
Just,
it almost sounds like a sub theme
Subterranean,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings or something.
it's Schmeagol.
Okay, see, and that's another part of the Santa myth that has always bugged me, that people got to get their character races right. His helpers are not freaking elves. They're Scandinavian forest gnomes.
Yeah, well, look, in Japan, they have it all wrong. One of my university lecturers went
Of
to...
course they do.
Yeah, one of my lecturers went to Japan at Christmas, and in a department store, they had Santa hanging from a cross.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I've
before.
seen that on things from Japan. That
Yeah,
somehow
they have
got
it
it kind of
completely wrong.
yeah.
And I've also seen a few pictures of Santa Claus with a big cross hanging on his neck. And I'm thinking, that has nothing to do with Santa. That'll get in
But
his
they
way.
also, I mean, they
Going
just
down the
overdo-
chimney, it'll catch on something. He'll be hung by his neck. No, that's a safety issue. You
Yeah,
can't
well,
do that.
Apparently, the Japanese
Freaking
really
union
love the
rate.
idea of Christmas,
That's a safety issue.
but they don't really understand the
close this
American way
place
of
down.
celebrating it.
Oh, you're liking this.
Like, you sound like the union rep that came in from like OSHA. Nope, I'm closing this place down.
Oh, darn, I was hoping you'd say something more like Christopher Hitchens. That's okay.
Well, I could do that too.
No, Christopher Hitchens is my middle name, literally. Christopher
well,
is my middle name.
But see, my mind always, when it comes to like workplace safety, my mind goes to like, union family. So I'm like, like
Santa's a dark elf, but the dark elf runs the union? Nope.
Yes, the elves need to be unionized. Think about it. They do all that
The
bitch
gnomes.
work.
The gnomes.
Sorry, they do all that work on one freaking day. It is worth 365 days. People have been bitching for these toys for a year at least.
Bitching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they do all the pre-planning. They're going to source all the material, and they don't even get a day off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what I learned was when I was a kid, what I was told was that they don't actually start making the toys until sometime in November and December is when they start wrapping it up.
How are they gonna do that many orders on an 8-hour shift?
Oh no, they have enough, and
Exactly.
they have some automation to help them.
No,
That's what was explained to me.
I need the union rep
My
in there
dad
right now.
my dad was a skeptic. My dad is a skeptic, and so he encouraged questioning. So he had to come up with reasons.
Okay, but what if you get a name brand product like an iPad from Santa? Is that actually a
No,
knockoff?
If you look carefully, it's an iPad. He hasn't got the patent.
Well, you see, what was explained to me is he buys high volume, so he gets a ridiculously great price.
Does he get it from 3 cents on the dollar from China?
And the CEOs of the company, all the upper management, want to get really good gifts too, so they give him a great deal.
And get a good deal from China?
How good a deal he gets? He has no income.
No, he gets a good deal from
Magic.
China. He makes the magic.
Well,
money.
no, actually,
He's more masterful at trade than China.
well, Santa is
and he's
not.
getting it from China.
Santa is not drinking that
He's
milk.
getting the
and
iPads for
Santa is
$3.
not eating those cookies. Santa is reselling the milk and the cookies. Okay,
Yeah.
that's Santa's
okay.
source of
I
income.
got, look, I got a guy in Taipei
Well,
who can make these Girl Scout cookies for 20 cents on the dollar. 20 cents a
There
dollar.
is something to that because, how could anyone eat like 4 billion cookies in one night?
There you have it. Yes.
But no, he only nibbles. He doesn't eat the whole cookie. Like he's
Turn
on
on
the
head, I'm doing paperwork.
he's
That is
he
why
takes
I'm
the
up
nibble.
late. I want to get it done so I'll have time on the weekend for family. That's only part of it.
Yeah.
But you're in.
We have been going for 3.5 hours, so I kind of need to wrap this up because I've got
you
to.
do.
Rajnia.
Hey, this was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very moo.
Hell, I could go all night on this shit.
I like how we ended on a positive note talking
Yes,
about Santa Claus. Some lovely snow and all that stuff. So.
Okay, so does anyone have anything they want to plug before we go?
Subscribe to my motherfucking channel already. I mean, hi. I love you all. Subscribe.
Yep. And
There's
the links for everybody will be in the description.
Oh boy.
The Canadian Atheists, we're always welcoming new members and donations. Our website address is www.canadianatheists.ca, and the True North Talk show, the True North Talk program that Neil 604 Atheist and I will be co-hosting is available at truenorthtalk.ca. Thank you very much. I may be on Modern Day Debate, debating with a pair of Christians who are going to argue that God exists on October 1st. So I'm hoping that comes to fruition. We're just waiting for some confirmation yet from the moderator.
I love you, but I can't watch that channel. That guy does not know how to moderate.
It's funny, there's a few people have said that, and most have said they're willing to watch the episodes for people they know are in it, like myself. And
like,
so I always thank them for the sacrifice.
Look, I mean, I would give it the college try, but at the same time that starts at my premiere of my new show.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not expecting people to watch. I just
Well,
if you
my
want
new
to,
show
great.
is
I
premiering on
appreciate
that day.
it. So, sorry.
My new series on my YouTube channel is premiering at the exact same time. It's like 7:00 Eastern, isn't it? Or Central.
That I think he's going to do. I think he's thinking about 2100 Eastern, so 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay, then it'll be over by then.
I'm sorry. Which day was that?
October 1st.
Yeah.
It's about 90%. I'd say 75 to 90% likely it's going to happen. So.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been helped tasked by many members of the atheist community to do it. So I know it's Thursday, October 1st at 7:00 Central.
Yeah.
Whether or not I actually do it remains.
Oh no, Thursday should work. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I'll be teaming up with a lady named Amy who's quite keen to do a tag team, a team debate. So looking forward to it. And my approach on this is to start with conversation and intermix debate with it because I find it more interesting that way. And it seems to go a lot more civilly when it's done this way. So. But thank you for hosting this, Purple Rhymes with Orange.
Moo.
And it's great to see everybody.
Oh, you're welcome. I just appreciate y'all coming in. And
Diana, did you get to say everything you wanted to say? I think
I know you've been super quiet for like an hour.
I think so. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe not enough moves. So
Diana,
there.
if you want to keep going after this, we could go over to your channel for a while if you're not sleepy. Because
I'm going to be heading to bed pretty soon here. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's 4:33 hours here, and I was having trouble falling asleep, which is why I ended up here. But I think by now it's starting to catch up with me. So that'll.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I can wake up at 4 p.m. and then we'll be all set. One of those deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scheisse.
Well, thank you everybody for coming. Everybody in the side chat for sitting with us and listening to us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yay!
So, bye all. Catch you later.
Thank you. Good night.